Hey, what's up, listener? Thanks for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we are at full geek saturation as we give you our spoiler reviews of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2, and Marvel's epic Avengers Endgame. Plus, more celebrity audio. We're on a new platform. There's a new way to listen, and comments and voicemails from you, our amazing listeners. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Saturday, April 27th, 2019.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. What's up, listener? How's it going? Thanks for joining us this week. And welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, giving you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And that fantabulous felty frothing in the corner, well, that's Mr. Rug Boy. Rugs, how's it going?
I got the flux capacitor.
Yes. How many gigawatts is it at?
A lot.
2.7 gigawatts, Marty?
Yeah, at least 5.
That's a different time travel movie, Rugs.
Oh.
You need to deal with quantum physics. We're dealing with quantum physics.
Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula?
I love Scott Bakula. Anthony, let me ask you this. We are at peak geek fucking culture right now.
Oh, shit. Geek boner.
If you think about all the things that are happening, it's one of the weeks that I'm really happy to have a podcast.
Yes.
You know, we have Game of Thrones building up. You got Game of Stones with the Avengers. And just everyone, and like, how does it feel to be a part of this fucking shared global pop experience?
This is the greatest week in nerd history.
Is it not?
This episode's being released on the same day that the Battle of Winterfell is happening.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
hopefully it lives up to expectation. I kind of trust the writers on this. So, but this, along with Endgame, I can't think of a better week in terms of long form, nerdy fantasy, sci-fi, comic book storytelling than this.
Ruggs, have you ever thought of another time like this? Like, this is unprecedented. I think this is like a once in a generation lifetime event.
Well, I mean, I'm really hyped this week. This is the most hyped I've been in years.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the first Spider-Man movie,
Yes.
I was waiting for that my whole entire life.
This is up there with Batman 89 and the first Spider-Man movie to
I
me.
think those two movie-going experiences, like, changed my life.
Absolutely.
The Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the second
one? Something. Matrix
I was really hyped
Reloaded.
for that one because that first movie snuck up on me.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be awesome, but this is like, I've been anticipating it like for 10 years. So the only thing that beats that is Spider-Man. I've been anticipating that movie for like 30 years before it came out. So
Jeez, how old are you?
really
He's
old.
439 years old.
776 years old.
Ruggs,
I'm as old as Thanos.
I don't know if you can handle any more hypeness, but I'm about to get you even more excited, Ruggs. I have 2 amazing cameo shout-outs from our listeners, and both of these are going to get you excited. I want you to comment right afterwards.
Why do you want his comments?
Because he connects with both of these people. You can comment too, Anthony, but I don't think you know who these fucking people are to begin with. So I'm going to get reactions. All right, you ready, Ruggs?
Go for it.
Here's the first one.
Hey, it's Michael Rosenbaum, and you are listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Why? Because you, my friend, need to keep up with all the latest superhero and comic book TV and movie news. And nobody brings it like these guys do. Check them out.
That's pretty amazing.
TV's Lex Luthor. One of my favorite Lex Luthors of all time.
A lot of people have said this is probably like he's the best Lex Luthor on screen that we've seen. That's fucking awesome, Anthony. Comment.
You showed this to me prior to this show, and I went,
"The fuck is that?
Who the fuck is that?" So yeah, nothing for me.
You never watched Smallville?
I've not watched one episode ever of Smallville.
Oh.
I watched the first season, but yeah, TV's
Smallville,
Lex Luthor.
Smallville came out when I was in my limbo phase of not really enjoying comics as much.
You were still like, ugh, that's nerd shit.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that it was nerd shit. It was more, ugh, that's on the CW.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not watching this teenage bullshit.
It was back in the day.
As a teenager, too, I was saying this.
And the show went on for 10 fucking years. All right, Ruggs. Here's another one that you probably will get you excited. Here it is.
Hi, it's High Pitcher.
Oh my God.
If you wish there was a Stern Show for geek news and sports, there is called the Jock and Nerd Podcast. And they want you to check it out. Google Jock and Nerd Podcast. The show features Rug Boy, the beef chow mein eating puppet.
Comment, Ruggs?
That's High Pitch Eric from the Howard Stern Show, legendary caller, whackpacker.
Part of the Whack Pack on the Stern Show.
I can't believe that a whackpacker from the Stern Show, a show that I listen to on a daily basis, mentions my name multiple times.
Oh, shit. I thought you'd love that. Anthony,
That's
comment
great.
on this one?
You showed me that one, too.
Yeah.
Again, didn't know who that was. Also, his face looks like a giant hairy nutsack.
Oh yeah, he's hideous.
He's fucking hideous.
Yeah, that's the whole charm of him.
Is it? And does he talk like that the entire
Yes.
time?
Yeah, he's high-pitched Eric. Of course, it's in his name. He's going to talk like that.
He's got to lose his voice after 2 minutes.
They say that it's his real voice, but I don't believe it.
No, that's not his real voice. I saw what he looks like.
If it is his real voice, I know something must have happened. But
He's one of the ugliest dudes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Well, you've seen me.
this is from, you were way better looking
You're
than
way
High
better
Pitched
looking,
Eric.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, well.
This is from Rug Boy's biggest fan on the interwebs, David Mobley. Now,
He does love me.
I've retweeted.
He listens to this show, I think, too.
He does love you, but I've tweeted this video, and I want the listener to go watch this video because I'm just going to point out one thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, Ruggs, watching this video.
Gross.
At one point in the video, a little piece of white something comes out and lands on his lip, and it sticks to his lip while he continues the video. And the very last frame of the video, it disappears. Oh, shit. Right back into his mouth.
Yeah, he's disgusting.
It's amazing. And I was like, oh, my
If
God.
you've ever listened to the Howard Stern Show, all they do is they hit him with fish. Like, they do stuff.
Oh, my God.
They had a shit-tacular where he they weighed how much he could shit. So he would crap into a bag and they would weigh it.
Unbelievable.
To see how much,
Good for
so
them.
it's the most disgusting.
I'm glad those
Dude,
shenanigans are still happening on the radio.
I think a porn star slept with him,
Wow.
at one point, and they had like audio of her like crying immediately
Wow.
after.
Well, thanks to our listeners for getting
So
us
disgusting.
these amazing drops. They will be used in some form or fashion. And one last thing before we begin, listener, we are now officially on the Pandoras. Talking Nerd.
Oh yes.
You can add us to your collection in Pandora. Hello, Pandora listeners, if you are listening there right now. Pretty exciting. How do you guys feel now we're being on the Pandora? Will you say hello to the Pandora people for us?
What's up, Pandora?
Anthony, I'm waiting on you. I'm not going to proceed until you say
Anthony's
hello.
in the middle of.
Are you texting?
Hey, what's up, Pandora?
That's
Hello,
Anthony.
how's it going?
Yeah.
You got the silky smooth Rug Boy and Imran here with me. I didn't even know people still listen to Pandora, to be honest with you. So.
Pandora, 68 million users in the U.S. and about almost 7 million paid subscribers. Oh, shit. Nothing to sneeze at. Spotify bigger internationally. Pandora much bigger domestically.
Really?
Yes, still.
Where are you seeing these
I looked
stats?
up the numbers. I'll put a link in the show notes. I didn't put it here, but you just look up Pandora numbers. That's what I got. Listen, we're
I
talking.
use Pandora all the time. I'm happy to be on.
There you go. That's
I'm happy to be on it.
68
I
million.
haven't heard of anyone listening to Pandora in about 5 years.
Yeah, and they're still around, so they're doing something.
But they're doing so you
Yeah.
can buy music. They're doing the same thing Spotify and Apple.
Yeah, it started
Get
as
the
like
music.
making a station of your favorite
Right.
artist, but if you subscribe, you can play whatever you want.
Play whatever you
Yeah,
want. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Just
And now
like
they're podcasting,
Yeah.
which is dope.
And they were around before Spotify, so yeah,
Yeah, so was Blockbuster.
that's a good point. And we see how that one worked out. All right, you bastards, let's get this started.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Before we get to Avengers Endgame, we have to stay kind of on track with this season 8 final season of Game of Thrones. So we're gonna do just our quick
A
thoughts.
week later.
Yes, first of all, these are,
Thoughts?
it seems like such a long time ago this fucking
is.
episode aired. It's only the second episode. It's a week later. The day the show posts will be the Battle of Winterfell. This is the setup battle. So we're just giving you our quick thoughts and move on to Endgame, but I can burn the Night King. Here's the Night King, everyone.
Hey everybody, how are you? What's up? Vladimir Furdik, the Night King of Game of Thrones here. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the joke and nerd. Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2. Enjoy the last season, because this will be one of the best seasons ever.
Spoiler alert. I like that he's surrounded by musical birds.
It's so contrary to his character.
Yeah.
Him being in a fucking aviary bird cage or whatever the fuck he's in is amazing.
He was just outside in nature. There's birds singing.
I like to imagine he's inside a giant dome. Yeah,
okay.
With birds just flying around him.
He's at the end of that movie with Sandra Bullock where you can't see anything.
He's in a biodome with Pauly Shore. Is that
What's
it?
the name of that movie?
With the weasel. I don't know. All Sandra Bullock movies are the same.
Blindfolded. The blindfolded movie that just came.
Gravity.
Blindfolded movie.
Oh, Birdcage.
Bird Box.
Bird Box. Birdcage is the musical. I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ. Imran, you're the worst.
None of us
He's
got
in
it.
the Bird Box.
He's in the Bird Box. All right, look. A setup, a calm before the storm for the big battle of Winterfell, episode 3, the longest show in the show's history. But even a filler setup episode of Game of Thrones is still amazing. At first,
See, I already got to disagree with you.
I thought it was fillery, but I watched it again, and man, there's a lot of
I hate
great...
that word choice.
No, but there's a lot of it's not fillery, but it's a Game of Thrones fillery, but it's not. There's so many great interactions.
It's not filler. It's an episode.
It's an episode. There's so many great conclusions. What were the biggest moments to you, Anthony, episode 2?
Well, first off, if you guys want to hear our instant thoughts, we're doing a lot of it on Patreon.
Right away, a day or two later.
We usually record these so much later than when the episode comes out. So if you want to hear our instant thoughts, $1 a month, Patreon. You got me and TJ. You got Rug Boy and Imran doing more instant reactions.
This week there was like an hour and 20 minutes of Game of Thrones season 2 talk on the Patreon.
Exactly.
You can't beat that.
I hate that you say filler.
Okay.
And I heard you say that on the Patreon episode. Don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Because this episode's not filler, man. This is what Game of Thrones is built on. This is character work.
Yep.
This is a character-driven story. Not everything can be action.
Yeah, I disputed that when he said it.
I remember. That's why I'm basically ganging up on Imran right now.
No, you guys are right. It's on second watch.
I mean, the number one, the title of the episode is
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, that moment was almost tear jerking for me. Seeing that, seeing the moment where Brienne Tarth finally gets knighted, and you can tell, she gets up with this big fucking grin on her face and tears in her eyes.
She's
and
crying. It's so emotional.
This has been built up since season 3, season 2, when you first saw Brienne Tarth.
And for Jamie to do it,
it's
amazing.
Jamie,
full circle.
Exactly. It's his character coming full circle to this man went from pushing a little boy out of a window to now being one of the most honorable men in Winterfell and knighting a woman.
Amazing. I love Jamie now. And I love how Tormund is so progressive. He's like, who cares? Fuck tradition. He's like, why aren't you a knight? He's very progressive. That was a great moment, Ruggs. What's another big moment for you from this episode?
There's so many. Well, Arya gets laid and gets her weapon.
Oh shit! Yes.
Oh, shit.
I love that.
Can I comment real quick on that?
Yes.
That is maybe the third or fourth time in Game of Thrones history where I screamed at the TV. But this one I was going, oh no.
Yeah.
No, please, no. I don't want to see it. Luckily, we got some side boob.
What other show will introduce you to a character who's like 11, and you will watch them grow into maturity, and then suddenly, boom, here she is naked. What the fuck? It's like seeing Punky Brewster get naked in the last season of Punky Brewster.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that she just hasn't aged all that much.
Yeah.
So she still looks like a little girl, even though she's 22.
She's 22. And I listened to you and TJ talk about how it's like watching your sister have sex for the first time. Absolutely. That's kind of what it felt like.
I don't know what that means. I've never had a sister, but I feel like that's what it would be.
Yeah, or like your daughter or something. Like
that'd be even worse.
Yes, it's very creepy.
Fucking terrible.
But tastefully done. Apparently she had complete control over what they were going to show, how they shot it, how much she wanted to show. And I mean, what growth for this character? How about
what growth? That's one way to describe
it's quite growth, quite side boob. How about fucking Jon telling Daenerys that he's by the way, I'm Aegon Targaryen.
Yeah.
Ruggs, you had a great point in our Patreon exclusive instant reaction. Is this the wrong time for Jon to be telling Daenerys this right before the fucking White King and the army's right at their doorstep, and now he's just
Night King? You fuck.
Why did I say the White King?
Yeah, White Walkers.
The army of the dead are right there, and now you just gone and fucked up her head when she probably needs to be focused.
Well, yeah, she's gonna be going into battle all confused and shit. You don't want that.
It's completely, though, in character with Jon Snow. Because remember in season 7, he has a chance in that big meeting to lie to Cersei and be like, yeah, I'll pledge my faith to you. But he can't. He just can't hold back. He has to tell the truth at every moment.
No, he can't.
That's just him.
It's amazing.
It's a bad strategic idea, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also in line with the
It's
character.
going to cost him the throne. It's going to cost him everything, I think.
I don't know if he wants the throne. I do think I mentioned this in the Patreon, but I
It's
do
going to cost
think
him Daenerys, definitely.
I think what they're doing, and it might be almost too obvious, but they're definitely building up to Daenerys being the bad guy.
Well, it could go one of two ways. Either he can like not want it so much that he will give it up. He'll be like, I will not take the throne. I don't want it. You have it. Or like I kind of saw in her face for a split second that look, she looked at him and she's like, I could just kill you. And everything will be done.
Yeah, that's the thing is Dany throughout these first 2 episodes and actually throughout her history, her urge that she has that Targaryen blood in her. Her urge, if people go against her, is to fucking kill them, to burn them. She doesn't have as much mercy as Jon.
She will Dracarys his ass, and in a big battle,
she wanted to kill. You could see the way Sansa when Sansa asked for Winterfell, she's like, "You fucking bitch!
Like
How
this
the fuck can you ask me that right now?"
Well, fucking Dracarys, you too. Your whole family.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a big battle. How easy would it be to accidentally get Jon Snow killed? You know, that could happen. Friendly fire. Whoops. He's out. Before we continue, I want to tell the listener, you want to join the conversation, join our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. It's exclusive. It's closed. It's so much fun. You get to meet all the awesome listeners. We hang out in there. Welcome new members, Jay Davis, Chris Hill, and Glenn Purvis. Thanks for joining. And I got to say a quick shout out to a crew of listeners that listen at a certain huge sporting goods chain out in Palatine, Illinois.
Pandora.
Not Pandora. Pandora, Illinois. Pandora should buy a city in Illinois. A little birdie at work told me she turns you on to the show, and I wanted to say shout out to Palatine crew. I'm not going to say the name of the store because they're a big store. They should sponsor us, but it's short for Richard. So there you go. You can figure it out.
What? How did you come across this information?
Oh, she just told me. She's like, oh, by the way, I told a bunch of my friends that work in this store in Palatine, and they all listen.
Can you imagine the instead of playing store music?
Yeah, they play this.
They're playing this.
Shout out to Palatine's Richard Sporting Goods. I'll say your name when you give us some money, you bastards. Okay. Back to
Might not be the target demo. I think we more appeal to
it's
dudes
jocks
in the basement.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't ever talk about.
No, we don't talk
stuff.
about or fishing lures.
Where
or
would be
camping.
the place that we do advertise at?
Vape shops. Definitely vape stores.
Vape shops.
I would have our show playing in a vape store off Spotify. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, man. There's a big cloud. There's voices. You don't know what's going on. Another big moment for me for this episode I thought was interesting is we finally get the Night King's plan. Like this whole time, it's been kind of vague. What's his end game?
Yeah, he needs Bran because he can't go to the bathroom.
Yeah, because Bran needs help in a handicapped bathroom. He wants to erase the history of man, and Bran is the history. So he's always been trying to get the three-eyed raven. He said he's come after many three-eyed ravens. So is this a satisfying endgame for you guys for the Night King? Just make everything disappear, forget.
Everybody wants to control over history, I guess, because, you get to wipe people out of history. You can make your own history. You can do whatever you want. So
this is a common theme amongst the two villains that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
They want control of history. They want to wipe out civilization and make it their own.
Yeah. Restart, refresh, wipe it all out, start it over in how you want to do it.
I mean, it makes sense.
True.
I didn't really need a huge motivation for the Night King.
Sure.
But it helps.
He's almost creepier when you don't know what the fuck he wants. He's just coming at you.
Yeah. But I mean, they give him a little. There's more to the Night King. I've always felt there was going to be more to the Night King than we've thought.
Yeah,
this is a hint that he's not just this mindless killer. There's something to him. There's more motivation to him.
Do you think
we're
the
going to
Night
learn
King
more?
will speak?
Oh shit, that's a good question.
I think we will get the Night King.
And will he sound like Vladimir Furdik? Hello, everyone.
He should.
Yes, I'm the
He
Night
sound
King.
like Dracula. That'd be great.
If he
Like,
sounds
blah, blah.
if he sounds like Vladimir Furdik and has birds all around him,
Oh
I'm
my
going to
god!
just die.
Imagine the first thing he says is, "You are listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast." Vladimir Furdik.
Never ever.
Listen to them, the children of the night.
Oh, the children of the night are coming.
I like that. I thought he was a Pakistani man.
I know initially, and I could see how you could get that. It did kind of sound like Could have been an Indian accent.
Yeah.
All right, let's close with this. What do you think about their plan moving forward, and who's gonna fucking die? Who's dying? I feel like they
Everybody
foreshadowed.
that's underground is dead.
Okay, that's my
Whoa.
next question. Is it smart to hide in a crypt of dead bodies when you're fighting an army of the dead that could raise the dead?
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
TJ brought that up. We might see some reincarnated Starks killing
Rob,
people.
Leanna. What if they all fucking come out of the fucking?
That'll be fucking trippy.
Shit. If Ned Stark's head comes rolling out, I don't know what happens. Is it still reanimated? But the plan to put Bran by the tree and have Theon defend him. Theon's gone. First of all, this is going to be his fucking big sacrifice.
If we're looking at kind of where the plot's going,
Yeah.
and I agree with TJ.
Yeah.
He prophesized or predicted that we'll get at least 10 characters.
Holy
die.
shit, 10?
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I, the more I think about it, the more I'm in agreement that
Yeah,
this is going to be an episode that just fucking rocks you, where you're going, I don't know if they can win.
So predictions, Theon won.
But I think Theon's hit the point in his plot line where I think he can go.
It's his big moment time.
This is going to be and when we saw Infinity War,
Yeah.
and everybody got dusted, it hit us a little bit, but we knew that there was going to be a chance for everybody to come back. But this is it. They die.
They die.
That's it. They're out.
They're gone.
done.
Yeah, unlike
they go out.
the MCU, these people aren't coming back.
But this thing is ending anyway, so it's like it doesn't matter if they die, I guess. But it's just for the story. For this particular episode, to the rest of the journey, they're not going to be there. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be. I think if we're following traditional storytelling,
Yes, there's clues in this episode.
I mean, Grey Worm talking about living a great life with Missandei
afterwards.
After this.
Anyone who
They
said
got-
afterwards is probably dead.
anyone that's speculating about life afterwards is on the chopping block. But Game of Thrones is a show that likes to subvert expectations too. So
What about Brienne? She got a huge
I
moment.
think she's definitely dying.
Came
Die,
full
yeah.
circle. What? And then the Arya and Gendry thing makes me think Gendry may not make it out of this. I think Arya
Henry
will.
might not. Well, there's also something, and I've mentioned this before on the other Patreon show. Let me just pull it up real quick. But you got to think about who actually has the Valyrian steel.
Oh,
That's important. Jon Snow has one
Jorah
sword.
Mormont has it now. Has one now.
Jorah
Sam
Mormont.
gets
Arya
it.
has one.
Arya has one.
Brienne
Oh yeah.
and Jaime.
Oh shit. So Brienne has a. So she may not go.
Yeah. No.
that may be a swear. What about Podrick?
Oh, I love Podrick.
I know he can fight. He can sling dick. He can sing. This guy's a triple threat.
I love that he went from this bumbling idiot to now he's just casually teaching people how to sword fight.
Yeah.
And he's got a huge dick and can sing.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's probably dead. What do you think?
Who knows?
Hey,
Who
man,
the
he's
fuck
living
knows?
life.
Yes, Podrick is living his best life.
He's the Mac. Yeah, he's the Mac right
If
now.
I was, like if I could be anybody in the show, I think I kind of want to be Podrick. Like, that's the best.
He's got no pressure
Yeah,
on him.
no pressure. He's getting fucking girls everywhere. He can fight. He can it's great.
I got to also give a nice little nod to Lady Mormont, again, putting another adult in their place. this
Badass.
time.
Yeah.
And I didn't forget, but I misremembered the fact that her and Jorah were all part of the same house too.
Yeah, they're
which
both
is what I still
they're
call
both
that.
Mormonts. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So many. That's a lot of great little moments. Tormund and his giants fucking suckling on
that's
giants'
fucking
milk
hilarious.
is fucking great. Rugs.
I love when he's that story's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I love when they're all plotting and he goes, "We're all gonna die tomorrow."
Yes.
And then he glances over at Brienne, smiles like, "But at least we'll die together."
He has some of the greatest lines when he shows up. He's like, "Is the large woman around?" Looking for her. Like, I love his flirting. Who would you want her to end up with, Jaime or Tormund? Because there's a weird little love triangle there. I think Jaime actually loves her now, and she probably has a lot of feelings for him. But
I would like Jaime.
right, but Tormund is totally fucking.
Tormund
Hot
would
for
be
her.
so out of left
I
field
know.
for her character.
He loves her,
I don't know. That's a flip of a coin there.
right?
Tormund would be funny.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious. Great big monster babies.
Oh yes, that's what he said.
That's what he said in
They would-
season 7.
they'll have
Gigantic
fucking-
monsters.
They would have amazing babies.
Yeah.
Once again, the
Look at them, giant monsters. They'd rule the world.
They should do that. The costuming continues to be amazing. Sansa and her fucking BDSM fucking black strappy look was, oh, geez, that was amazing. She looked great.
Jesus Christ, Imran.
That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, black.
BDSM.
It was like black straps,
Costume.
very dominatrix-y.
They always nail the costumes.
Yeah. And then we saw John's Direwolf. Ghost. Did you see Ghost? He was in the corner in the one shot
Yeah, I
on
saw
the
that.
wall. All right, Ruggs, last thoughts going into this big battle that it's going to be on by the time you guys listen to this. You'll probably have seen it. What can you say? What are you excited for? Everyone dying.
Well, is this the first 80-minute episode that we've had?
Yeah, for this season or ever?
Ever.
This is they've had longer ones, but this is the longest ever. An hour 20, a little over hour 20.
So this is going to be the biggest episode. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be disappointed if they dilly-dally.
Yeah.
If they start fucking around doing Walking Dead shit where they fucking, all of a sudden they subvert your expectation of this huge battle and then all of a sudden they do some other bullshit, and I'm not going to like that.
The whole episode's going to be in King's Landing instead, and the battle will be in the background.
Yeah, they'll just be checking in.
If they
see
do
it from
some
a
bullshit
distance.
like that, they don't know what the fans want.
Now, they know what the fans want.
They owe it to the fans. And that's the one thing that I think that Endgame gets right is they do that.
Yes.
And I experienced it twice, and I was like, okay, they made the right move, and that they need to do the same thing with this battle and the rest of the whole thing.
That's another topic I would think I'm going to get into that relates to this and Endgame is fan service in the best possible way. Like, it's become a dirty word, but it's really not when it's done well.
But I don't think this is an episode for necessary fan service.
Not this, but in general, Game of Thrones and in general, I
agree with Ruggs. I hope they jump right into it. But this isn't the fan service episode.
No,
this is the Infinity War episode.
Yes, the next one will be.
Fuckers die.
Yeah.
This isn't a fan service episode. This is the episode that fucking takes your heart and stomps on it.
It will
the entire episode.
This is the payoff.
Yeah.
This is what you've been investing in, right?
Yep.
You've been investing in the show for years. You've been reading the books. You've been talking about it. And now this is the conclusion, and it's got to satisfy. And they, basically cut this down to 6 episodes. And the promise is that they're going to make it spectacular. So I have a amount of trust in the Game of Thrones people to really pull that off. So I'm hoping that that's what happens.
If you notice that very last shot where you see the Night King's generals on horses pull up, the Night King is not in that shot. He wasn't there. I wonder if he's onto them, if he's going to fly in later, if he doesn't show up at all. Maybe he survives and that has to be resolved
What are you
later.
expecting out of this, Imran?
I'm expecting them to get right into battle, Winterfell to be destroyed, them to put up a good fight, but ultimately, there's no way you're stopping this and crazy shit to happen and emotional fucking deaths. And I don't know. And some swerves. Definitely some just like Endgame, it's going to be like some shit you didn't know you wanted to see. But when they do it, you're like, oh shit, that's fucking crazy and amazing. So maybe it's too much.
All I want to see, I definitely want to see, an awesome battle. And I'm this week in terms of Endgame and this episode, they are so big.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I've never had more trust in the creators of both of
them,
these
absolutely.
to deliver. Yeah. And I think they will deliver in Game of Thrones as well. But all I really want to see is something similar to Endgame, where both sides are lined up and you have the characters you like on one side and they charge at each other. That's all I want to see.
They'll do
and
that.
Then from there, I'll ride along with the story.
This is the battle that took 55 days to shoot.
This is the battle that in the first episode we see a White Walker in literally the first scene of the first episode, and now we finally get the war.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing.
Unbelievable. All right, good stuff.
And Battle of the Bastards directors, I think.
Is that who's doing this? That's fantastic. I can't wait, man. This is too much. It's too much geek boner. My pants are uncomfortable. We're going to take a quick break right now.
Enjoy it, guys. It's a great week.
It is.
That's because you got them pulled up to your fucking neck.
But that's where my waist is. I've come from a short torsoed people.
You can't tuck your boobs into your fucking belt.
I had my torso medically removed.
He can and he does.
Steve Urkel's got nothing on me. Let me tell you.
Got any cheese?
We're going to play some promos of some podcasts of you should check out. They're friends of the show. And we'll be right back with the Avengers Endgame spoiler review.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, hooligans, this is Michael.
This is Michelle.
This is Jeremy.
From Who the What Now?
The show about
strange stories from the internet.
And Bigfoot came over and beat his ass. He knocked him around a little bit, and he just kind of went limp, and Bigfoot left.
Pop culture.
Jean-Claude Van Clam. Jean-Claude Van Clam was supposed to be the alien in Predator. Mm-hmm. And did a jump splits and ended up with his bat right in the dude's face.
That's his
do I get the part?
In our crazy lives.
I'm like, oh, there's a cat on my back. And then all of a sudden I feel something. I feel a furry paw go down my ass crack. Just slide right down my ass crack. I was like, what are you doing?
You can catch us on all your favorite podcast applications.
Spotify.
iTunes.
Libsyn.
iHeartRadio.
Stitcher.
Your mamas. And wherever else you find they have quality podcasts.
So don't miss out on the next
Who the What Now?
Hey, true crime listeners, check out our podcast, I Said Goddamn. We're a true crime comedy podcast hosted by two besties who like to share messed up cases that make you say goddamn. Every Sunday, we try to one-up each other's story by sharing a horrific case the other has never heard of. Along the way, we splash in some wildly inappropriate jokes and colorful language. Listen every Sunday from any of your favorite podcast directories. Also, follow us on Twitter at ISGD Podcast or visit our website, isgdpodcast.com.
And
Listener, if you have been enjoying the show and have not signed up to our super awesome Jock and Nerd fan club, April, this month, right now, is the perfect time to do it. We have been putting tons of bonus content because we are running a pledge drive. Think of this as like Jock and Nerd Plus. We should just call it Jock and Nerd Plus. Everyone's right? Why not? Everyone's adding a fucking plus. You pay for something, it's a plus. This is now officially Jock and Nerd Plus from Disney. Gives you bonus content, early access to shows, a whole RSS feed. This month, we're trying to hit 15 new patrons, in which case, when that happens, everyone who's new, everyone who has increased their support will be put into a random drawing for a Jock and Nerd prize pack. Jock and Nerd! Which is a t-shirt, some stickers. You get to pick a movie for us to review, and we will do a video shout-out just for you. Now, we're going to amend that because this is the last week. I'll extend it through the rest of this week. We will be pulling a name next week, whether we get to 15 or not. And if we don't get to 15, well, the person whose name gets pulled gets to just pick one of those things. I'll give you stickers. So you can choose whether you want a t-shirt or a movie for us to review or a video shout out. You get to choose one of those things. That'll be the prize.
Cool.
How's that sound? Good. Very good. Here is some movement. A lot of people to thank this week. Thank you to Jesse Rodriguez for increasing from $1 to $5 a month.
Nice.
Very good. You are Rug Boy approved. He sent a note. Shout out to the whole crew and especially the Tony and his sideshow. It's real damn good. The flood of Patreon content has helped me on my 1.5 hour commute each way. Even if not much, I up my contribution today because you guys are saving me. LOL. Keep it coming and maybe I'll get to the $10 a month and have you review one of my favorite movies, Roadhouse.
Oh, shit.
Is that Patrick Swayze?
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, man. Thanks for listening to my side show.
He loves the side.
It's real damn good. Just a little shout out or tease for the next side show.
Who's next?
I have on August Ragone.
Oh shit!
That's a big get.
He is a Japanese kaiju and cinema and all that stuff expert, but he likes to talk about a lot of things.
I will alert
an interesting show.
The listener, if you are a Godzilla fan or know someone who is into Godzilla, you want to share that episode with them.
Watch, we probably won't talk at all about it.
Doesn't matter.
But doesn't matter.
Because he is a kaiju expert and you're going to want to check it out.
Wrote the award-winning book about E.G. Tsuburaya.
Yeah. He was on, I interviewed him on the first G-Fest episode where I fucking broke the thing. Remember that year? Remember that happened? Where I broke the toy. He was on that episode.
Here's the name of the book. E.G. Tsuburaya, Masters of Monsters Defending the Earth with Ultraman and Godzilla.
Cool. Pick it up on Amazon. Use our affiliate link. Everybody wins. There you go. Jock and Nerd.
Good plug.
Moving on, Keith and Denkinger sent us an amazing, generous $100 donation to cover our first year of Disney Plus.
Whoa!
Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Keithan. Unbelievable. And not only that, he was on the Patreon. He had lost his wallet. He had dropped out of the Patreon. He's back in.
That's a new patron.
That's a new patron. Absolutely. That counts. He's back in at $10 a month. So we have his movie pick. He's definitely a new patron. And then he also commented, I never did the survey when I joined the Facebook page, but my favorite host is Rug Boy, followed closely by Imran. Sorry, Anthony. It's fine.
I'm not really a host.
Well, you're his favorite host.
You're his favorite.
Okay.
Hey, Keithan. Thanks for the $100,
dude. That's amazing. We got. I mean,
we'll take it.
Never thought that the show
Disney Plus is covered.
Disney Plus. Here we come. I'm gonna love reviewing that shit.
I've got my superhero cape on and I'm charging towards Disney
shit.
Plus.
I'm wearing my whole Spider-Man pajama jumpsuit.
You're just wearing your fucking underoos, you
Yes,
fuck.
it's my Spider-Man underoos. They're very tight.
With the
I'm
hole in the
freeballing.
ass.
Make them for adults.
I'm going commando.
Oh, Ruggs is free slack holing it. Okay, thank you to
Is that a
Keithan.
tree? Is that Groot on the back or is that a skid mark?
That's vitiligo.
No one knows yet. I'm waiting for something to sprout out.
I'll wait for the tests to come back in from the lab.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you also to listener Tiona Rose, just became a $3 patron.
Talking nerd.
Heyo.
Oh my God, they keep coming in. That's a new patron. And then thank you. This just happened. The amazingly badass Lisa Morrison increased her pledge for a second time this month to $10 a month.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit. She gets to pick a movie. She has picked.
Lisa Morrison is badass. By the way, thank you, Tiana Rose, as well.
Yeah. Lisa Morrison's movie for us to review. She's picked it already. She had it ready. It's Serenity.
Geek Boner.
Which is a good movie. And it's actually kind of perfect.
Is that the one with Whedon?
Yes, and Nathan Fillion from Firefly.
Don't we
TV
have
show.
to do that one anyway?
Yes, so this is kind of perfect. Jose Ibarra had picked this, but then since you didn't know who Warwick David was, he
that's
changed his to
Well,
Willow.
fucking Willow.
Yes, so now his is Willow, and Serenity back on the docket.
Back in the game.
So we're going to knock all of these out this summer.
Absolutely.
So
Very soon.
I know you guys have been waiting a while, but
thank
we're
you.
going to knock the shit out of this after the movie season's over.
Yeah, yes.
You heard it from Ruggs.
Yes, absolutely.
We're doing it.
Yeah, we're going to just start slamming away at this.
It's
Run Boy Improve.
Absolutely. And next week, we'll pull a winner, so sign up right now. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, gang. Here it is. Let's get into it. Avengers Endgame. Here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Oh, boy. This is a big one. This is the 22nd movie for the MCU in 11 years. An amazing culmination of everything we have been waiting for, everything we have been watching. Rotten Tomato score, 96%, making it the second highest. It dropped. It's Black Panther's at 97. This is 96.
What's the average critic rating?
8.28 out of 10. And, more reviews may pour in. There's a ton of them in there now. So for whatever that's worth, that's what the number is. Now, here's where it already gets crazy. We're recording this the weekend the fucking movie came out. It is already breaking box office records. We don't have full opening weekend, but you can kind of guesstimate what's going to happen. First of all, this thing had the biggest opening day in China. It had the biggest Thursday preview. It is the widest theater release of any movie ever at 4,662 theaters in North America. Thursday, it made $60 million on Thursday.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Thursday night.
Thursday night. The Friday night total, record-setting $156.7 million just on Friday.
Domestically, yeah.
Domestically, right now, worldwide, in according to Box Office Mojo, it says 1 day of release, it has made globally $643 million.
Oh, shit.
Already. So now, everybody's numbers were broken. They are estimating this thing opens domestically between $315 and $330 million domestically, and this could possibly be the very first $1 billion international opening movie ever.
It will.
Yeah, I think it will. What's funny about this is, and I was wrong.
Yeah. This is insane.
People were going, if it hits 300 million, that'll be crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's 250 was a very common projection.
Yep.
I mean, I'm seeing on Box Office Mojo, it's en route to 345.
Jesus Christ, it keeps going up. This has never been done before.
And anecdotally, I mean, I saw it twice already.
Yes.
And the movie theater I went to, both of the movie theaters I went to both times are never ever fucking sold out. And these theaters were fucking packed with people.
Yeah.
And having showings up until 2:30, 3 in the morning on Friday, Saturday nights.
There are
unbelievable.
There are 17 AMC theaters in the country showing 24-hour rolling showings of this.
Yeah, there's multiple screens too.
Every screen.
Almost every screen in the 10plex that I went to was doing this movie.
You have to because of the runtime. Here's my anecdotal story. I saw it. I've seen it twice also. Thursday, 9 p.m., the parking lot of this theater, I've never seen this parking lot as full as it was. I had to park all the way at the end by the street. Packed audience, amazing, great crowd. Then I saw it 9 a.m. this morning, Saturday. Also, full fucking theater at 9 a.m. It was packed. It was insane. A lot of fun.
You couldn't get a ticket.
Ruggs, what was your experience? How many times have you seen it?
Well, I was planning on seeing it once.
Yeah.
But then we were trying to do the show earlier or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just fucking see if I can find a ticket. So I hunted for hours to find one Friday ticket. And then this was the beginning of the week. So a week ahead of time, I found one seat.
Yeah.
So I ended up seeing it twice. And I just saw it right before we did this podcast.
I saw it this morning. So we've all seen the movie twice. Let's just tell you how much money this fucking thing is going to rake in.
And I'm very happy I saw it the second time because I was going to see it for the first time today.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could have gotten my shit together to even make an opinion of the movie. So I'm glad I saw it the day before.
You would have been at a disadvantage because you definitely need to process this, and seeing it again once you know it's going to happen is really helpful.
How was your theater experience, though? Were they both the same?
Thursday night?
I had two completely different experiences.
Thursday night was hyped up multiple times, people cheering. Saturday morning, there was not so much cheering, but it was more normal. But Thursday was you could feel the energy in there Thursday. It was great.
Yeah, I'll echo that. So Thursday night was a fucking buzzing.
Yeah.
I've never seen this theater like this. And yeah, it was buzzing. People were cheering. It was unbelievable. Friday night, also a buzz, but more of a teenage crowd on a Friday night at 9:00. So still buzzing, but also kind of, you could tell that these kids they've grown up with this, but they're not the long-term comic book fans that have been waiting for this their entire life. It was more like this is just the thing to do on a Friday night. But both decent crowds, both cheering at the right moments. Overall, pretty respectful. So it was fun.
Yeah, the Friday night show that I had was super high energy, multiple applause breaks.
Yep.
The one that I just saw now was more of a family. You could tell it was old ladies with their grandkids and shit like that. And there was a lot less. So the caliber of fan, I guess, it dies down as the days die down.
Yep. Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, because of the diehards, we're all going to see it right away and see it again.
And seeing a movie with an audience full of kids is a very different experience.
It's annoying because they talk through the whole fucking movie.
They get up to pee.
Yeah.
They're not cheering because they're just kids, which is fine.
Well, I mean, not all kids are like that, but I think that especially younger kids, the beginning of this movie is kind of slow.
Yeah.
So it might suck them out of paying attention.
Look, let's just get into our opening thoughts. This movie, directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, written by Marcus and McFeely. Same great writing team. Maybe the last Russo brothers movie for Marvel for now. They probably want to take a break.
They said they were going to take a break, but they're open to
I would imagine they would need to take a break.
Well earned.
Yes.
Break.
Anthony, let's start with you because in your instant reaction, you mentioned you got choked up, and I could hear it in your voice. What did you think coming out? What does this mean to you?
Oh, man, this movie, I'm glad I got a couple days to think about it, because if I would have recorded this that night, I would have been a fucking mess. I was a mess recording my instant reaction. This has been the culmination of 11 years of amazing storytelling. And for me, just being into these heroes for this long, my entire life, this was legitimately everything I could have asked for in terms of a cap to this saga of movies. I mean, it was fantastic. And we can get into, you know, some of the maybe the holes in the movie and the storyline, but I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
This movie was so like this movie was one of those where if you don't like it, or if you don't want to, if you have holes to pick, I'm not the person to talk to about it. I'm like identity politics with this fucking movie. This movie was everything I could have asked for. Literally, it was the type of movie where midway through I was just smiling.
Oh yeah.
And then by the end, I had run the full gamut of emotions the entire movie, where I was going, oh no, getting mad, getting sad, getting choked up, cheering. I mean, if a movie can do that, and the only reason this movie can do that is because not only of the 21 films prior to this, but the small character moments within this movie.
Yeah.
It was everything for me. This was one of the most enjoyable movie experiences I've ever had in my life.
Nice. Ruggs, I don't know your instant reactions because you just saw it. So, opening thoughts. What'd you think coming out of this twice?
I think overall, I enjoyed this movie immensely. I really thought, now this is what the quandary that exists. All right. There is obviously, if you look at the mechanics about how they set up this whole movie and what takes place and what has to happen, there's a million scenarios that the movie could have been done in like 3 seconds.
Sure.
Like there were so many easier routes to this, and using the logic that they put in there. But what they did is they had this Herculean task of trying to tie up all of these characters and give them all a moment so you're satisfied after this is over. Like with Tony Stark's story and Cap's story and everybody, they had to figure out a way so everybody got like a little moment and the resolution to kind of move on to the next phase. Whoa, that was Thanos.
What the fuck was that?
A boom tube? Is Thanos coming?
I was talking and I bumped into the mic.
That was amazing.
I was animated.
Dramatic drum
boom gong.
Yeah.
Fucking Thanos.
It's a bomb. That's the sound of Captain Marvel showing up. Remember that? Like, all of a sudden they heard a hum.
Yeah, it was like,
but like, so they had to do it this way for a lot of reasons. So I pretty much succumbed to that. I'm like, I understand that they have to do this thing of like getting in 3 hours all of this story told and all of these characters to kind of pay off.
Yeah,
and that's why they did it this way. Do all of the payoffs work? A lot of them do. Like most of them do. Some of them I'm a little bit on the fence about, but overall, when that last 40 minutes kicks in, you can't help but want to see that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't help but want to see like some of the shit with like, I mean, do we even go there now? Like we talk about Mjolnir and Cap.
Do
we talk about all these things?
We'll talk about it after Imran gets his opening, and we'll definitely dive into that last.
So many things.
It's look, what can I say? Fucking wow, amazing.
We already know what you're gonna say.
You know what I'm gonna say. This is, but what I felt was like this movie did what it needed to do. It has. The fact that it has callbacks to almost every single movie before it is unbelievable. It's
line by line callbacks.
Yes, every
music cues,
every line is meaningful. You could trace it back to the history of these characters. I didn't think it felt like 3 hours. My mouth was open the whole time, just like, oh my God, I can't believe what I saw. Like it blends. It's
That's because you had a stroke when you were.
I did have a minor stroke in theater. But I didn't want to bother anyone.
5 years ago, and you can't close your one side of your mouth.
I feel like it's like 3 great acts. I feel like it's 3 amazing movies in one. It blends all the great Marvel genres kind of into one. You have earned moments. It felt like a movie for me, the comic book reader who fell in love with these movies. Like for us, this movie was directly for us. It rewarded you for paying attention. And it's fan service in the best way. This is where I'm like, fan service is not a dirty word. This is the kind of fan service you want. Because you want to give the fans what they've been hoping for and make it awesome. The closure to everything is amazing. And it's so hard to rate this and compare it to the other movies because this has never been done before. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, everyone is in this movie. It gave me everything I wanted and stuff I didn't even know I wanted. And people I forgot about. And I was like, holy fuck, you have to watch it multiple times. Unbelievable. I'm still kind of blown away with how they did it and what they did it. Let's get into details.
Spirit, Imran, where are we going?
Let's go. Let's just start with the biggest moments. What were big moments? Ruggs just mentioned. Let's start with the one Ruggs mentioned, which was probably the loudest cheer every time. The biggest reaction was when Thor is getting beat the fuck up by Thanos, and you think he's gonna die. Like, I was like, Thor, he's about to kill fucking Thor right here.
Right.
And you see the hammer lift up, and it's still, you're not sure who's doing it, and it flies over to it hits him and flies over to Captain America. Holy crap.
Shit.
And that direct callback to Avengers Age of Ultron. If you thought he budged that hammer in that movie, oh yeah, he did. He fucking budged it. And him calling lightning, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I mean, that drew, there was plenty of moments in my theater where there was a rousing applause. That was one of them. But what preceded that before that scene, slightly before, which also draw a gasp, was when he's beating Thor's ass and Thor calls back Stormbreaker.
Yeah,
and Thanos catches Stormbreaker, where you go, what the fuck?
And now he's inserting it into his chest.
Yeah, exactly.
The reverse of Infinity War, and there's so many great moments where they flip things around from Infinity War.
To be honest, that scene, I'm surprised that they were able to hold back till 22 films to finally have Cap wield Mjolnir.
Yeah, really, right?
And the Avengers Assemble.
Yes, that was also great. But so he's been worthy this whole time.
No, so
really?
I actually have two thoughts on that.
Yeah.
There's two theories on him being worthy. He either was faking it in Age of Ultron because he didn't want to disrespect Thor. So he was always worthy, or he wasn't worthy yet because he was still lying to Tony about the fact that Bucky killed his parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's two theories.
It's interesting.
On that.
And then
so he only became worthy once that came out.
Yeah, so he came clean, and then all of a sudden he was worthy.
I love how Tony was still pissed at him in the beginning.
That breakdown that he has,
awesome.
It's amazing.
When he was like emaciated and on the IV, and he was just so emotional. I mean, that was great acting.
Yeah, a lot of great performances.
I loved it where he's going, I wanted to build a suit.
Remember that?
You said we would do this, even if we lost, we'd do it together. And you weren't there.
Yeah. He's like, he calls him a liar. And
he calls liar and takes the thing out of his chest. And he's like, you take it.
Yeah, put it on Thanos. He goes, wow, so emotional. There's so many great emotional beats.
I mean, I know you want to get into the big moments, and we can.
We get into whatever.
But there's so many fucking little moments that make these big moments all the much better.
True.
So, I mean, for instance, everyone's going to probably bring a lot of people. I saw a lot of stuff online about Fat Thor.
Yes, Fat Thor
love
is
Fat
great.
Thor.
I love Fat Thor too.
But what sells Fat Thor for me personally, is the fact that I actually believe that he would have been like this.
That he let himself go like that.
Because the entire film, he blames himself for not killing Thanos. It's his fault in his mind, and he has nothing left to live for.
Yeah.
And I like the scene where you see Fat Thor, and it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
But then Hulk immediately goes Thanos, and you meet the subtle acting by Chris Hemsworth where he goes, "Don't say that name," and he starts like crying and like banging his hand into Hulk's chest, and Hulk's like, "You helped me out when I was in the dumps, man, and I'm gonna do the same for you." So like,
his even his subtle comedy lines, Hemsworth was amazing, really good.
I mean, he's super funny. He's also very like the scene with him and Frigga, where Frigga's like, the measure of a hero isn't something along the lines of, it's not the measure of a hero isn't who you're supposed to be, it's how well you do at being yourself.
Yeah,
and Thor's like, oh fuck, like I'm not supposed to be a leader. Like this isn't. I just have to go out there and being me is enough. And even at the end when they're like, they have Mjolnir, or they have the glove, and they finally outfit, and Thor with his false bravado goes, I'll take it. I'm the strongest. Yeah. And then they're like, no, and he immediately crumbles, and he's like,
okay,
no, he's not okay. Like, okay, he's like, let me, like, I was getting tearing up. I was like, he's like, let me do it.
Oh, that's right. Let me do something.
Please let me do it.
Yeah.
Like he's so broken, but he's like, this is my chance to redeem myself.
Yeah.
Right. So fucking good.
Well, I love Thor. Part of me feels like it maybe went a little too far from where he was the last time we saw him. Maybe
I can go with
a
that.
little too like jokey, but like maybe they could have reined it in a little bit or got him in shape by the end of it at least. Because I was like, how's that costume fitting on that fucking gut now when that fucking thing came
Why
down?
is his beard get braided?
His beard, suddenly gets braided into a cool braid. And like,
I mean, those are little things, whatever.
Yeah. But
they teetered the line for me. It worked, especially upon the second showing. I was like, oh, there's a lot. This character's so fucking damaged that he's hiding it again.
I just love I love the whole Big Lebowski
The two characters that should be the most damaged are Tony and Thor.
Yeah, that's true.
Because what happens is
great point
that Tony was supposed to die in Infinity War. He was about to. Then Doctor Strange says, "No, let him live. I'll give you the jewel."
Yeah.
Right.
So he had to trust Doctor Strange that he was telling the truth, that there is a way and they're going to do it, and this is the only way to do it. But still, I would feel guilty if I was Tony Stark.
I mean, that's on.
Well, that's the reason why he actually makes out the best in terms of post snap. He finally can be in a log cabin with his wife.
He gets to live the life he wanted to.
He gets a kid.
Yes.
But yet he can't walk away from it.
Yeah.
He's still in the back of his mind. He's going, but I won't be able to rest.
No, it's on his shoulders.
It's still on his shoulders. He's got everything he wants, and he still is like.
Which is why he had been working on time travel this whole time. Didn't really tell anybody.
I think the first thing he says after he comes off the ship, he's like, "We lost the kid."
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So that's weighing on him as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's great. I mean, that moment where Tony looks over at Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange flashes the one.
He's like,
this is the one in 14 million shot right here.
Yeah.
This is where we got to do it.
I totally knew he had taken the stones.
Fuck.
I was like, he has the stones. When he was about to snap, I was like, he's got them. But that whole, and then for him to go, I am inevitable, and him to go, I am Iron Man, bringing it all the way back.
That's the last thing he said.
Yes, all the way back to the first movie. The last thing he says in the first movie, holy fuck, wow.
Saying I am inevitable,
Two people get to wear, and like the devastation that Gauntlet does, like, will Hulk's arm ever recover? Like, it fucked him up.
I don't understand why he wouldn't recover. He is a healing factor.
He
of course,
should, he'll get back.
He's not wearing the glove anymore.
I guess, he was in a sling in the end. It might just take longer.
Yeah, I just think that's odd. That I didn't get that.
But Tony does make
Somebody told me, he's not full Hulk, so he can't grow his stuff back. But
he's smaller.
I think he'll recover. It's just damage. I mean, you're wielding the power of the universe in your fucking arm.
Yes. That's going to take you right out.
Right.
Surprised Tony survived as long as he did after that. But another great emotional moment, another flip from Infinity War.
Okay, we're at the Tony part.
Yeah.
I mean, we can jump around, but we're at the Tony part. We might as well stick here.
Yeah.
How fucked up was your theater when Tony was dying?
I mean, everyone was silent. It was,
I could hear the sobs
you could hear
in
some
my
sniffling.
theater both times.
I heard a couple of people sob.
Yeah. I didn't hear much sobbing, but it was dead fucking quiet and like just on the verge.
If I would have been alone, I would have fucking bawled my eyes out.
I turned to the guy I saw it with. I saw it with a few people, and I asked him, I was like, did you cry? He goes, oh, yeah. I was like, I was tearing up, yeah.
I mean, the moment where Peter's talking to him, and then Pepper comes by and goes, it's okay, you can rest.
Yeah.
I fucking almost lost my shit. I was like, oh my God. Because I didn't think, maybe I was being naive, I didn't think Tony was going to be the one to die.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I knew it was possible, but I always felt like Tony was their cash cow, and they were going to just milk him, maybe in cameos throughout the rest of the film.
But it makes so much sense.
Well, he'll come back as an AI.
Yeah, he could be the Jarvis. It just makes sense for him. It's so fitting to close it out from Iron Man for him. We should have seen that coming.
Well, there's a meme that was out that I saw today where it was from Tony and Cap's argument in the first one.
Yeah.
And Tony goes to Cap, everything special out of you came out of a bottle. And then there's a picture of Cap wielding Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And then Cap going, you're not the type to make the sacrifice play. And then there's a picture of Tony snapping his fingers. I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
The way they tied that up in a fucking bow.
Every line in this movie is a callback to one of the movies. Like, it's fucking unbelievable. I love the moment when Peter hugs Tony and it's the reverse, and he's like, this is nice. And just that,
that's great.
That emotion there. It was just fucking crazy.
I mean, this is the type of movie that had callbacks to one of the worst Marvel movies ever, Thor: The Dark World,
and made it like
made that movie better. Yeah,
so Frigga, like that's the most lines Rene Russo has had
ever had.
She had no lines, and it was an amazing conversation. It makes that, and for Natalie Portman to be in there. This is another thing I love about this movie.
That was probably some old footage.
I think the Natalie Portman was old footage, but going back to Frigga, I mean, that even resonated with me because that's straight out like mom-son relationship. She knows right away something's off with her son.
Yeah.
She doesn't need him to explain it.
Nope.
She just immediately knows this isn't the son that I have.
This is a different version, yes.
This is a different version.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's something wrong with your eye. Let me check on your eye.
Yeah.
Like that's mom-son relationship right off the bat. Yeah, and please
eat a salad.
Eat a salad.
It's so fucking great. Yeah, that was, okay, so let's just talk about all those moments. Everyone, the OGs kind of got a moment. You had Thor talking to his mom. Then you had Cap sees Peggy, but then
that 70s scene.
Yes.
That 70s scene was the moment in the film where I started to be like, oh my, like I started getting the lump in my throat where I was going, oh my God.
Tony talking to his
this is
mom.
I was like, when I saw Captain America see Peggy, I'm like, how is she hot? Still hot? She's supposed to be 50.
She's still hot.
I mean, she was like 1945.
Listen,
They're in the 70s. You know, a lot of 25 years have passed.
But she's Haley Atwell. She's hot.
She's Haley Atwell. She's gonna be hot for a while.
And like the fact that she's right there and he can't even talk to her.
And then Tony gets to talk to his fucking dad.
Tony talking to his dad was fucking amazing. Like he finally gets to realize he's like, oh, he's always like, I never got to say goodbye to my dad. And he realizes, his dad's going through similar shit as he is, and he blurts out he has a daughter and bonds with him. That was, that's going to change it.
His dad goes,
that was very out of character for Howard Stark, though.
He was,
just sees a stranger and just starts hanging out with him.
He's looking for Armin Zola,
let's
too.
go out.
Which is a great
it's a little out of character, but I was willing to ride with it because it's such a good moment for both of those characters.
That's a lot of this movie, by the way.
Yeah,
there are things that happen. You're like, I gotta go with it because they're giving me what I want, but not exactly in the best way. But they're making it happen.
100%. This is one of those movies where probably in the next year, because you can change your opinion. Like, the next year or two, I'll probably be like, oh, there's a lot of like weird little things there, but
a little contrived, a little rushed. It doesn't matter, and
it's not rushed. It's just fucking. There's some things. I mean.
You got 3 hours. You got to make it happen. You got to cut some corners.
You're dealing with the first act being them just dealing with the fact that they failed.
Yeah.
The second act is basically the wackiest comic book story. Yeah, comic book film ever, where they're paying tribute to themselves.
Yes.
The entire second act.
Yes.
And then the third act is just basically the culmination of all the fan service you could ever want.
And it's so just well balanced, well done. Like, it's amazing. Whenever you introduce time travel, it's going to get wacky. We do at some point. I want to talk about these time travel things.
Here's the one thing about time travel that I did like that they introduced.
Yeah.
Just because you go into the past, that doesn't change the future.
This is different. And it actually...
That's why you don't go into the past and kill a baby Thanos, because that does nothing for your
more
future.
In line with actual, like, what quantum physicists think could actually happen. But what ends up happening is every time you go back, you are just making a branching timeline that goes off on its own. And I have this graph in the notes. I'll put it in the show notes. It kind of, because at first I was like, wait a minute. I had to listen to Bruce, because Bruce Hulk explains it. And I'm like, wait a minute. What is he actually saying? This graph and the way it's broken down now, I kind of get it.
It's funny that we all kind of base our time travel theories
Back to
off
the Future,
movies.
Terminator. And I love that they address that. But, they call it out.
Which isn't real.
Even though he's like, it doesn't work that way, they totally do a Back to the Future fucking scene when Tony goes back to the meeting in the building in the first Avengers. It's like, so it's perfect. It's Back to the Future too. They did the same thing, kind of avoiding who they're avoiding. But essentially, they have created, I believe, if this chart is right, 5 parallel alternate branching timelines that can all be utilized in their TV shows, in the other movies.
That's how they're doing the TV shows, which makes sense now.
So, look, here, to break down the timelines real quick, there is a timeline now where Steve and Peggy live their life together, and maybe there's no Captain America at all.
Right.
There is a timeline now where maybe Howard Stark has changed his ways because of the conversation he had with Tony Stark.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
There is a timeline now where Loki escapes in 2012 with the Tesseract.
Oh, shit.
That's the TV
show right there. There is a timeline now where maybe Frigga lives because she was supposed to die right after that. No,
I don't think it. Because here's why I'll poke a hole in that.
Yeah.
Thor is about to tell her that this is the day she dies, and she goes, "No, don't tell me about my future."
So she's going to walk right into it.
she's resigned to the fact that her future is her future.
Okay, so maybe that one doesn't happen. This one definitely happens. There's a timeline now where Thanos disappears in 2014, and none of this shit happens because he left.
Oh, in that timeline.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's crazy, but I kind of understand that. And then him returning everything back. There's also, I have lots of questions about that, but we should just talk about
let's keep. There's so much more to discuss before you discuss the timeline.
How about
shit.
this? Thor fucking decapitating Thanos in the beginning. I was not expecting that.
How surprised were you guys?
Everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Whole audience gasped
when the hand came off. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yes, right away.
They should have done that from the get go.
Yes. Right, they did it, but then I did not like mid.
But there was no stones. That's why they could
mid speech. He just goes choppy chop. I was like, "Oh fuck!" He didn't fucking wait.
Went for the head.
And he's like, "What did you do?"
Well, what that threw me off a lot because I anticipated them attacking Thanos right off the bat.
Yeah,
but I anticipated them losing really badly again.
Yes,
So they subverted our expectation with that by going, "Nope, the revenge you're getting is going to be completely unsatisfying. We're going to do it in the first 5 minutes."
And how about the fact that he's
going to put up no fight to you?
It was Carol who found them and brought them right to Earth, and it starts there. And like that post-credit scene never happened. Like this changes a lot of what they showed us.
No, it happened.
Where she's like, "Where's Fury?"
Yeah, they just sent her out there. They're like, "Oh,
yeah," they're like, "Go look for her.
Go look. Tony's out there. Go look."
Oh, that happened, and then she went to get him.
I'd
and brought him
imagine
back.
Tony was sending distress signals from space.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, you don't know that definitively.
Right.
Imran was in the dark about it.
Right.
So some people are going to be confused about that.
Yeah, but I mean, if they have to fucking explain everything, it's going to be a 4-hour movie.
You know what
they have to take a little bit of leaps in terms of,
and they do.
They left
trusting
a
their
lot
audience. unanswered.
Also with the 5-year jump and everything.
Well, that was the next
we can get to
big
that
gasp moment.
Yeah, let's get to we'll get to the 5-year jump later because I have some things about that too.
You know what I love though? Another great character moment: them playing paper football, Nebula and Tony.
Yeah. They had to do that because that was such a bummer watching Hawkeye lose his entire family.
Oh yeah, right.
They had to. They couldn't go into that right into Tony giving his speech to Pepper.
Great point.
So they definitely, that was a pickup scene.
Yeah, that
was shot later because Tony's like wearing like this heavy sweater, so you can't see he's not skinny. Oh. They couldn't do the CG for that.
Oh.
So that was definitely put in later after like, this is too much of a bummer to go into this in the beginning of the movie. We have to stick something else in there.
It is a scene that could have been cut out if you wanted to trim the length down, but I love the character moment of it because I remember.
I don't see many scenes that could have been cut. I mean, I don't think all of them are necessary, but I enjoyed literally every scene.
Yeah, I think the scene with Cap in
the group therapy.
Yeah,
that could have been cut.
Yeah,
it could have been cut, but it also shows though that even in a moment where there's no war to fight, Cap is still going to do something to help out. This is his way of helping.
It's
out
just more character, and this is kind of Cap and Tony's and the OG Avengers movie. But my audience reacted right in the beginning when Hawkeye's family got dusted.
Oh, yeah.
People were like, "Oh my god!" And
there was a gap.
Yes, right away.
The way they shot that too, they were doing the
beautiful
with the
little handheld,
the handheld where it's bouncing up and down, and the way they shot it where it's like he looks over to one way and she's gone, and he looks over like it's
just nothing.
You almost feel like Clint Barton in that point where you're going, this would be really disorienting if I was out for a picnic with my family.
Plus,
and
the
they all
handheld helps to make you feel like you're there with him and you're like running with him.
It's POV from
point of view. Also, he calls her Hawkeye. It's the first time they actually said the word fucking Hawkeye.
Yep.
In any of this, but that's what sets him off the path. That was great. Let's get to 5 years later because all this shit happens. And the next time the audience gasped was when it was 5 years. People were like, "What the fuck?" But I wanted to see what the world would be like.
I didn't really agree with that jump.
Yeah. Okay. Why?
I think that it could, because it opens up so much of in the aftermath of this.
Yes, it confuses things. Yes,
it opens up so many different things, and it makes all of these the future that they leave is actually fucked up, like beyond repair.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ruggs. The future is really fucked up.
But they could have made it a 1-year leap, and it would be a little bit more amendable.
Mm-hmm.
I
just think the Russos and the writers were like, "This is our Cap film, like Cap off film."
Yeah.
So they were like, "We don't care how this goes moving forward.
Yeah.
We're telling this story, and
right.
figure it out."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. But I agree with you, Ruggs. I mean,
They wanted the maximum impact. They wanted despair,
and that did it.
The infrastructure of now going half of the characters are 5 years younger than the other half is crazy.
Well, this is confusing.
I'm thinking about just Homecoming. So everybody that's not Homecoming, everybody that's in the new Spider-Man, what's it called?
Far From Home.
Far From Home. Like, everybody had to get dusted in order to be back in this movie.
This is what I didn't understand when Peter goes back and sees
the same age.
Ned. I'm like, wait a fucking minute. Why isn't Ned fucking 21 years old?
Yeah,
Did
he had to get
everybody
dusted.
leave? And then that leads into more questions of where, how will people, do people remember these people were gone for 5 years?
I think people remember that they're gone, but that's where it stuck out for me the most was when he sees Ned. Either Ned has been gone with him, and they both are like emotional because they've been gone, or Ned was there and Ned shouldn't be there.
Nobody is.
They have to have basically took out the entire class of Homecoming,
of the whole movie,
had them all get dusted at the same time.
Clearly,
for this to make
no one
sense.
has aged. They're still in high school. It's the same.
Right.
They're the same age. What the fuck happened?
But
they could have done the same exact thing with just a year.
Yeah,
I guess they could have.
But the only reason that doesn't work with just a year is they wanted to make Tony have lived a life with this kid.
With a kid.
He needed a 5-year-old.
That's the only thing where they needed it to be.
But he could have had a 1-year-old too. He just couldn't have had a relationship.
Well,
Morgan Stark was
I don't have
cute.
a kid, but I feel like a 1 year to 5 year relationship. Might be a little
5 years. And also the 5-year-old, the girl calls back to all the kids in all the movies where she's wearing the helmet and from Iron Man 2.
The biggest way I've coped with that future, especially the fact that Far From Home is coming out in 2 months, is don't think about it.
I hope they
because
explain some
if you
shit.
start to fucking think about it, you're gonna get really racked with what the future holds.
You're going to. It's like something you're unraveling a sweater by pulling on a string. It's like you just got to let that string.
I wonder if
that is the biggest flaw for me in this movie.
I wonder if they'll address it. Like, is it 2023 now in the
It's
MCU?
2020 fucking 3.
Right?
Yes.
What the fuck?
We're
That's
in
weird.
2023 right now.
So they're like 5 years ahead of us. Why isn't anybody aged?
Someone brought this up on Reddit, and I was just fucking laughing because they're like, the implications of losing half the universe for 5 years.
Yeah.
So then for 5 years, we've been living with half the universe. So infrastructure,
it's all crumbled.
daily plant growth, business. Now to reintroduce that half of the universe
This is gonna
back
be a
on the same
nightmare.
fucking day would crush the infrastructure of every economy in the world.
This should be a nightmare situation.
That would be a nightmare.
Yes.
Literally, people would starve to death because there wouldn't be enough food being grown on farms. Like
a
everything would
nightmare.
crumble.
Yeah.
But don't fucking think about it.
Think
Not
about
only
it too
that,
much.
but this is the second thing that I thought if 5 years passed, wouldn't we get our shit together by then? Like, they started rebuilding Tokyo after the tsunami. Like a year later, it was like fucking like it never happened.
People are really fucking traumatized.
They're real
and depressed.
depressed.
That's all. They're real depressed.
They've been depressed.
5 year depressed. I love it.
I mean, the shot where they show New York and the boats are still all in the dock. I'm like, they had to clean that up.
Yeah, we haven't cleaned this shit up. It's been 5 years. What are you doing? There are half as many people that do shit, but
that's true. There is half as many.
Clean up
There's half as much shit.
Maybe just clean up your area. How about that? Your immediate area.
That would be my
every
main
homeless
critique.
person could have a home.
Yes.
Like, no one's using this shit anymore.
I'm gonna take this mansion now. These people got dusted.
That is a very fair critique that I will tolerate.
I love in that group scene in the where they're at the group meeting. That's Joe Russo. Playing the first openly gay character in the MCU.
Did you catch the other cameo?
Jim Starlin, the creator of fucking Thanos.
The bald dude.
The old guy, the old bald dude. I was like, there's so many great fucking cameos in this. Let me ask you about this. Doctor Strange said there's 14 million versions, only one can work. And in this one, a rat had to randomly walk across the device to bring Scott back.
Hell, it's 1 in 14
that was
million.
like, in the other ones, what happened? The rat walked around the fucking thing, or the rat didn't hit the right buttons.
It's 1 in 14.
But I loved, I kind of love that, and the fucking band is prominently in the movie.
It's
so I guess
crazy.
it works.
I just thought it was funny that, like, they, as I said, this, now, I'm not shitting on this movie because I don't like it, or I love this movie, but there's things that when you say, you ask yourself a question. So you're like, Scott Lang comes back. He's like, we only have enough Pym particles. I'm like, but you can go and get as many Pym particles as you want.
Just go back in time
and get it.
Well, they figured that out eventually. That's a good point.
Yeah, they did figure that out. Although Scott Lang I'll defend it that like this. Scott Lang is also a doofus.
He's an idiot. He was so funny.
I loved Rocket going, oh, look at you. You want to go to space?
look at
You want to go
boy.
to space,
Look at
little boy?
Yeah, that's a lot. Who hasn't never been to space? Raise your
Yeah,
hand.
that was great. I love where Scott's like, we only have enough for 2 tests, and then he hits it by accident. Wow, one test. It's like, you fucking idiot.
So when they went, they go to see Tony when Scott Lang comes out of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And obviously
doesn't go well.
He's like, I'm not doing this shit. I got a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Then he does the dishes and he figures it out.
Pretty much. But he'd been working on it.
It's pretty quick, yes.
It was the Mobius strip. That was the key. You had to put it, twist it, and then tape it together, and it's one line.
What it shows is I think he had been working on it.
Yeah.
He just
I
needed...
think maybe a passage of a couple of days had happened.
No, I think he's been working on it for 5 years.
I think he'd been working on it before even Scott got there.
Because
this was his prompt.
he knew what was going to happen. That was another great line. He's like, what happened? He turned into a baby? He's like, yeah, he turned into a baby. But he's like, I got it right here.
I don't know if my older or younger self just peed myself.
Yeah, that was a great.
It's like it was either baby me, old man me, or me. There's so many great lines.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go. How about America's ass? Was fucking
America's ass. That was weird.
Fucking great line.
That was
so funny.
Like, why would Tony Stark look at Captain America's ass and then talk about how his?
Oh no, that was Scott Lang.
Was Scott saying he has because Scott loves Cap.
He's like, don't worry. That's yeah, you're right. Tony first mentioned it. He's like, that doesn't do anything for your ass.
Yeah.
Then he fights himself and sees. He's like, yeah, that is American.
He's like, I could do this all day. Yeah, I know.
Like, I think the line would have been better if he'd be like, damn, those pants are tight. I never noticed this before from this angle. You know, like that would, I don't know, just a weird, like, it was a weird Tony Stark line. Him looking at his own ass and admiring it is funny.
That's great.
That was weird. And, I was confused.
Oh, don't take stairs.
That stairs thing was great.
So many stairs.
I love seeing all the moments from the other movies and, in different ways and moments we didn't see playing in and out of the movie.
Speaking of moments that we didn't from other movies, so we'll get to this. Did you guys expect Widow to die?
No, this was...
How did that go over for you
This
guys?
was kind of shocking to me. It was one I did not see coming again.
I didn't
we all
either.
thought Cap, Iron Man,
well, there's
Thor.
a movie coming out.
There's a movie coming
It's got to
out.
be a prequel now.
It's a prequel, yeah.
My only thing with that is, don't you think before they jumped, Nebula would have been like, oh, by the way...
she didn't know.
They did know, though. They said...
I think she knew.
She knew that Gamora died, but she didn't know that it took a sacrifice. She didn't. She could have thought that Thanos just killed her out of anger. They didn't know that it took a sacrifice.
And the saddest part is Scarlett Johansson or Black Widow going, see you in a minute.
Yeah.
Right before they
upon
jump.
rewatch, that's a
Yes,
heartbreaking
you're like,
line.
oh, fuck. But then my other question is, how does this actually work? I thought that you have to sacrifice someone that you love. And they were trying to save
But
each
they love
other.
each other.
They love each other.
Okay, that's true, I guess. But they were trying to send each other.
Conveniently.
Yeah.
They love each other. Yeah, I mean, if it would have been any two characters, it might have been, and it might have not worked. But they love each other. Also, it works because in the first movie, Black Widow tells a story that she was an assassin and she had red on her ledger, and Hawkeye could have killed her, but he saved her. And now Widow's returning the favor to her.
Yes, that's
because
right.
Hawkeye
Yes,
is killing people and being this terrible
and
person,
she
and
goes
now
and pulls
she's
him out.
saving him. Yeah.
No, it was definitely, I was like, holy shit. But then I have...
It's very poetic.
Yes.
It is poetic.
And then I had more questions.
Them fighting to kill themselves is...
Because I was like, if Hawkeye dies, I'm not going to feel too bad, honestly. And I think they realized people were going to feel that way.
That.
Even though he had a huge role in this movie. Great performance by
like,
Jeremy
all right,
Renner.
good.
Yeah, Hawkeye's going, all right, I didn't miss that motherfucker.
Yeah, all right, cool. But then they flip it around on you at the last
one
moment.
Female Avenger.
Holy
they fucking
fuck.
kill off.
So my question now is, are Widow and Gamora both in the Soul Stone? And if Cap went back, did he return the Soul Stone, releasing them? What the fuck's going on now?
Oh, they're dead. What are you talking about?
But Cap had to go back and give the stone back. He returned all the stones from when they took him.
So he gave it back.
So she doesn't come back to life. You don't refund, get a refund soul when
They're
you bring
in
it back.
the Soul Stone.
They're both in the Soul Stone.
They're in the stone.
So they could come back.
No, they're dead, man.
They could come out of the Soul Stone. Somebody could figure out Doctor Strange, the Guardians.
Because the reason they're dead is they right after Thor goes, let's just go. We can get them back. And Hawkeye's like, no, it's done. Go talk to him. It's fucking done. They emphasize it.
Well, Hulk did try to bring her back too, and he couldn't. When he snapped.
Exactly. And they do that too. Hulk says, I tried.
Shit, she's dead.
She gone.
Yeah.
So that
I mean, if they bring her back, like if they bring back her or like Tony in any other way other than a prequel or a flashback,
it's going to cheapen it.
It's going to suck. Yeah, it's really going to kill.
I
this
say
film.
Tony becomes the AI voice. He becomes the next Jarvis.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's possible because it's something that's within his power to do.
Yeah,
right.
It makes sense. You know what I mean? So if there's some things that in this movie that are forced, but you can't force shit like that. Like people won't like that. You can only get away with a certain amount of forcing.
They're dead.
I'll bring it up now.
Yeah,
because we touched on it, but it's so worthy of bringing up again. The moment when Cap is on the ground and he looks over at Thanos, and Thanos has his entire army.
Yeah,
and then you hear on your left, Black Panther comes out.
That was another big cheer.
Well, that's the fact that he was standing there on his own, willing to face down Thanos, and then like you're thinking in complete despair. You're like, there's no fucking.
But he was,
way.
he was going to do it. And
this was literally your Jon Snow moment in Battle of the Bastards, where they're charging at him and he's by himself.
Yep, but he's standing up there before the troops come and help him.
You get Black Panther come out
first, which
big
is
cheers.
Fitting.
Falcon comes out, big cheers.
Yeah.
Then you get Doctor Strange and the Guardians come out, huge cheers. The biggest cheers, though, Spider-Man comes out, and my theater went fucking nuts.
That's awesome.
And I was like, this, and I was like goosebumps. I was also like, wait, you guys didn't know that he was coming back?
Yeah.
Like you really thought he was dead. And he comes out, and everyone's just going fucking insane. And then from there, you get everyone else, and you get like the
Wakandan chant,
the Wakandans, and the Asgardians come out.
Yeah.
And then you even see some of the Ravengers come out.
Yep.
And Giant Man.
This
Hulk,
is just like what's going to happen on Game of Thrones. All the armies are showing up.
But this is like, not only is this 11 years of movies, but this is like comic books. Like this is every event storyline come to life.
That's what they did. They did that little switcheroo thing where they subverted that moment where Hulk snaps and gets everyone back.
And then you forget about it for a while.
By having the whole place getting fucking bombarded.
Yes.
Right.
Which for some reason they all lived through that.
Yeah.
That was like
They're Avengers.
Come on. The most firepower I've ever seen on a place, and nobody, not a scratch on anyone.
I had a way to defend it, and I was going with it in the second film because Tony, when they are about to do the snap with Hulk, he puts up all the barriers. Do you remember that?
He puts a shield up. Yeah,
all those shields go down before the fucking firepower rains down. So
yeah, they should have kept the shields.
They should have kept the shields up to defend, not defend it, but to at least plot protect.
They looked out the window to
characters.
see if they fixed anything.
Right, but that's the only thing where I was like, wow, they all lived. And like Hawkeye gets up, no helmet, not a scratch on his fucking face.
He's in the basement.
I was like, what the fuck?
And then that pseudo armor comes out of nowhere. Where does he get that suit of armor?
Who? Hawkeye?
No,
Tony's
War Machine.
Oh yeah. So War Machine gets a new armor.
Oh, he does?
He gets the Iron Patriot armor. He gets out of the War Machine armor, and then he gets Iron Patriot.
Yeah, they don't show that.
But the pacing of that was so great. Like they didn't give you a chance to think, and then the complete destruction so instantly was unfucking believable.
Well, how the fuck did those things get down there where Hawkeye was? I don't think they even showed it.
The Outriders.
They didn't show it. But I
feel like that was a editing thing. That might have been in a different spot, and they moved it up.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I did enjoy though that they finally had the three pillars of the universe face off against Thanos.
That was awesome.
I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed that Thanos is just sitting there. I was like, oh, fuck,
just waiting.
I even enjoyed Thanos' characterization where he's from 2014, but he's like, okay, this is now my destiny. I am inevitable.
Yeah.
And what I've learned from fucking all of this is that even if I kill half the universe, they'll never appreciate it. So what I have to do is fucking wipe them all out.
I think 2014 Thanos is more dangerous than fucking
I love
2018
Thanos
because he's seen it already.
When Thor gets the armor back and he has both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, I'm fucking I'm like, this is amazing. Then you cut and you see that he has a belly in the armor, which is kind of hilarious.
Yes.
But I like that he slaps the things together and he goes, let's kill him properly now.
Yeah.
And he even mentions, he goes, this is a trap. He's like, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
We're all in.
Tony, he's like, we're all in. Let's get him now. Like, they're so fucking angry that they jump into a trap because they just want to fucking kill him.
The sequence of them passing the gauntlet like a football was amazing. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching a movie where right now Spider-Man is hitching a ride off Mjolnir that was thrown by Cap while he's holding an Infinity Gauntlet. Holy shit, this is happening? When they were running at each other, like before the battle started, when everybody shows up and the two armies are coming, in my head I was like, they're gonna cut away. Like, there's no way they're doing this. This is happening. I half expected them to just cut away to like afterwards, and I was like, holy fuck, this is fucking happening.
I do have a minor nitpick, and it's the most minor nitpick ever. When Cap goes, Avengers!
Yeah, and he goes, assemble.
And then he whispers something. I'm like, how does anyone know that they're ready to charge?
He's like, I was waiting for that second part. I didn't get the second part.
But Thor does scream, and then they all go.
The female team that joins up, it was like 10 of the...
That was so contrived, though.
They're setting up this movie. It was fucking badass.
Contrived, but I was
they conveniently all land in the same spot.
All the women in the theater were going nuts at this point.
This huge, like, expansive battleground that they're all over the place in the last shot. And they all conveniently form up to generate this moment.
It's woman power.
It was the pandering moment of the film.
It felt forced, but like I enjoyed seeing it. I just think we should have gotten there better.
Do you think that it was a good use of Captain Marvel? It wasn't what we thought, where she was going to be the Deus Ex Machina, but
she was in a way. She's like, because they had to, like, they used her in the beginning, and then she's like, well, I got to go away now, and I'm going to be really busy, so don't bother me.
And she comes back right at the right time when he was like, rain fire.
I liked her better. I still have a lot of problems.
I liked her better in this movie than her own movie.
I still feel like they're propping her up to be something that hasn't been earned yet. Because that character, that literally could have been anyone that jumps through that fucking giant spaceship.
It's got to be someone who's really powerful who can.
It could be anybody. It could be fucking anybody.
I guess it could have.
They're doing it just because Captain Marvel is supposed to be important. I still don't feel like it's earned. And here's a quick reason why. She's been gone. All throughout Earth's most important moments.
Yeah.
She explains that the Avengers are here. I've got to help out a lot of other planets. Okay, fine. Show us something. Show us that she's helping out other planets. Because right now, all I see is this girl, this smart-ass, supposedly badass girl that hasn't been around for 20 films, supposedly helping out the entire universe, yet we never see any of it.
Captain Marvel too.
Show me this.
I know.
This is classic. Tell, not show.
Or if like the Guardians had mentioned her at all, in the movies, would have made sense.
It's still it's so forced with her.
Yeah.
So if you notice, there's a shot in this movie where she is holding back Thanos' gauntlet, similar to Infinity War, where it's Cap.
It's Cap.
And so I feel like they're telling us this is your next fucking Captain America.
And then Thanos headbutts her.
Yeah, nothing happens, which is great. Yeah. Quite the spin on the last time.
I mean, I'm willing to. I still think they can make her awesome. It's just they're not there yet with her. Every character except her, they're not there yet.
There's just look, even Scarlet Witch,
badass fucking moment.
Like, had a great moment, and that's a character I don't like either for some reason. I never liked her in the comic books either. I always thought she was like a cheesy character, but like in this movie, she at least gets a cool moment, and she gets to really fuck with Thanos and starts stripping the armor off.
Yep, that was great. I love that Thanos just goes, I don't even know who you are.
Scarlet Witch, She's like, you took everything from me.
I mean, to Marvel's credit, when Scarlet Witch jumps in, was it then in front of Spider-Man? When she defends him? Or was that Black Panther? Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She jumps in front of whoever's holding the fucking football.
Oh, yeah.
And in front of Thanos, and the music cues. My theater went like, oh, man.
She's so powerful.
They were fucking pumped up to see Scarlet Witch fight Thanos, which I would have never thought 5 years ago would be something that I'd be pumped to see.
I mean, the moment from Infinity War helps. Like, they set that up well.
Character work. They built that up.
Yeah. What about Professor Hulk? What did we think of the new Hulk here?
I feel like he wasn't really hulky.
Yeah,
I think if you're a Hulk fan going into this, you're on one hand you're psyched because you get to see this version of Hulk, the Professor version. Yeah. But he doesn't really smash.
No, but Hulk makes fun of that.
But that's Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
In the comics, he's like that too.
But he smashes in the comics. He kicks ass.
I enjoyed it because he reminded me of like an uncle.
He's so funny.
Like this cheesy fucking uncle. Yeah. Oh, let's take a picture. Go green.
He's like, dab.
When he goes, it's dab. I'm just fucking losing
Also, when they're testing the time travel, he's like, time travel. What?
That was great.
Yeah, like
or when he's in the battle in New York and he's trying to act like the Hulk.
Oh, he's like really.
He's punching the car and
he's really unnecessary.
He was. How come he was so much bigger though in Avengers? He was just not matter. He's kind of controlled it and brought it down.
Yeah, I think that's
he's somewhere in between.
He's in between. Yeah. I enjoyed Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
I thought he was
No, I
fucking
did.
hilarious.
The fucking taco
I did,
moment.
but I know
the taco was great.
diehard Hulk fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
that
not
are gonna-
getting him. You're not getting
They're
down.
going to come out of this going, he did not smash. He should have fucking smashed. He should have gotten.
And there's no he never gets that second chance with Thanos to fight
Yes,
him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. He doesn't even redeem himself.
They're kind of
that way.
doing
He
what,
just gets to do the
what
snap
they did
and then
to
he
Drax
gets.
a little bit to him.
What's that?
They're doing to him what they did to
Yeah,
Drax a little
but
bit.
Drax doesn't
Drax
have.
is a joke now
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah.
he did the stabby thing.
Yeah,
He did the stabbing.
everybody
thing.
had a little moment.
But Drax is never. Drax doesn't have the character history that the Hulk has.
That's
Right.
true.
I'm kind of defending in terms of that, like, if people had an expectation for Hulk to be smashy, they're going to be disappointed. Whereas Drax, you don't really have that expectation because
No, but
it's just fucking
Professor
Drax.
Hulk-
They made him into a joke. at
And
this point.
Professor Hulk, you want someone who's smart and uses his strength cleverly and can help you out, and like they nailed that in this one.
Well, this. Let me just be super nerdy right
Okay.
now.
Let's go.
You have the Savage Hulk,
Right.
which is when he's like mindless.
Yeah.
He's at his strongest for that in that way. Then you have Mr. Fix-It,
Right.
that's smaller and gray
Yeah.
and has all of the smarts, but he sacrifices his size and strength to have ability. Then later on in the comics, he becomes Professor Hulk, which is the perfect blend, which he's got all the strength and all the knowledge. And if they're going to call him Professor Hulk, well, he's actually more like Mr. Fix-It.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just
Fair
not
enough.
gray.
I mean, he does do a lot. I mean, man, what else? Big moments. Fucking Giant Man punching the Chitauri fucking thing out of the air was great.
Well, how about let's get into the kind of the closing.
Yeah,
moments.
let's get into where it ends after
let's start
Tony
with-
dies.
So Tony dies.
Yeah.
That's a big emotional moment.
Yeah.
I was fucking, like I said, if the theater was empty, I'd have been bawling my eyes out. I was a wreck. So then the next moment is where we're leaving the big three characters. So Thor
Yeah.
finally resigns to the fact that he's not a leader and lets Valkyrie lead Asgard.
New Asgard
New
up
Asgard.
in Norway.
And
Right.
he is joining the Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's hilarious.
So what do you guys think of that?
As Guardians of the Galaxy, I cannot wait to see him and Peter Quill fucking interact with each other. I think it's a great idea if he's open to more movies, Hemsworth.
Well, after Ragnarok, it seems like that's more of his wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a very
Agreed.
similar tone.
So-
I think he'd be great in that.
And as far as what was the name? What's the name? Where is he from again?
Asgard, New Asgard.
Asgard. Asgard being on Earth, that's been done in the comics.
Yep.
Yep,
So,
that's also a nice Easter egg, and I think
so they're kind of true to the comics there. And then in the newer comics, obviously there's a woman Thor, so all of those things kind of jive together. They all kind of.
there's also an
I'd
Asgardian.
rather it not be a woman Thor, and I'd rather it just be Valkyrie.
Valkyrie ruling, and there is a comic book also called Asgardians of the Galaxy, which is fun.
with Angela.
From
With
Todd
Angela,
McFarlane's Angela.
Yep, yep.
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, no, I agree, Ruggs, that it seems like Thor's in the wheelhouse now of a Taika Waititi, James Gunn kind of feel, and that's going to be I think Thor really hit his stride in Ragnarok, and I think they just re-upped with Hemsworth and are like, yeah, you're not leaving, and Hemsworth like, yeah, I got nothing else going on. Well, maybe that Men in Black movie, but other than that,
I
let's
heard
keep
they
this going.
pitched Thor 4, so there may be some
it
interest in
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
There's still
It works
some
better with an
stuff.
ensemble.
Yes, and with
Yeah.
either Taika or James Gunn, I think he would be amazing. This Thor.
So then you got that.
So, and then also the funeral scene that had everybody that's ever been in an MCU movie is fucking standing there. Even the kid from Iron Man 3. Why is he there? Why is this fucking kid from?
To make people go, that's an Easter
Why
egg.
is Harley there? Were they keeping in touch this whole time? I thought that was odd.
Maybe. No, I mean, it's fine. I definitely didn't recognize him because
Yeah.
he's grown up a lot.
Yes.
I thought that was Quicksilver from X-Men.
Oh, shit.
I was going, what the fuck is going on?
No,
here?
he's
I had to
dead.
turn to the fucking nerdy teenager next to
Who's
me
that?
and ask them after, who is that?
Who's that
And
kid?
she's like, it's the kid from Iron Man 2 or 3, and I had to Google it.
Yeah, it's the kid from Iron Man 3.
I was like, holy shit, the kid from
It
Iron Man
seemed
3.
odd
No,
they
everyone's
put him in there. Yeah, it was amazing to see like this family and this family and this family. And then you have
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury's in this for 5 seconds, but he's back.
You get a really cool callback where Happy's with Morgan. and
Oh,
she
yeah.
goes, I'm hungry.
Cheeseburgers.
What do you want? Cheeseburgers. And that's from the first Iron
That's
Man
the
movie
first
as
thing
well.
he wanted when he came back was cheeseburgers. And like it's so fitting and so touching that he now has to take care of Morgan. Just kind of like Tony took care of him, he took care of Tony.
It was, I mean, that whole funeral, I was a mess.
Then we
Fucking
get
mess.
to the plan for Steve to go back, return the stones, and I knew he wasn't coming back. I was like, he's gonna go hang out in the past. This is his chance. And weirdly enough, he picks up Mjolnir, takes it with him. I didn't understand why he took it and where is it now?
He has to bring it back to the reality.
Oh, where they got it from.
Yeah, they stole it from Thor 2.
That's right. They took it from there. So then he's returning all the stones and decides that, you know what, I'm going to live my life here with Peggy in the 50s.
Yeah, he finally gets to live that life.
And then he comes back and he's all old. And is this now? So that would also create a branch timeline, meaning he came back from another timeline.
Right.
And then
he's come back from a timeline where he got to live a happy
where he
life.
created it, and Sam, not Bucky, is the one that gets the shield passed to him.
Did you catch that Bucky basically knew all along that this was going to happen?
How so?
He's the one that's like, go over there and talk to him.
Oh.
He's the one.
And he nods.
I felt like he gave him his approval, like that. You got this. It's you.
No, but I think they're implying that Bucky knew, as his best friend, that he was going to go back and live that life.
Okay, and this is the plan.
Yeah.
So also they have a TV show, so all that shit's gonna come up. Who
I don't see how they can just do a TV. If you're gonna give, I feel like they got a chance to make a movie with Falcon as Cap.
Yeah,
like that was a big moment. So just throw that onto a Disney Plus TV show. I feel like.
I mean, it's all gonna be part of the. Maybe it's him learning.
I haven't been the biggest Falcon fan.
Yeah.
I think he's all right. But that moment where he gives him the shield, I was like, I'm all in.
I loved him double stabbing
Falcon America.
Yeah, Falcon America, which is also from the comics. But him double stabbing that monster with his fucking wings was great. Like his moments are great.
I love that he has him try it on.
Yeah.
I remember this. He has him try it on. Falcon's like, I feel like it belongs to someone else. Yeah. And Cap goes, well, it doesn't. It's yours. Yeah. And Falcon like literally has the biggest smile on his face, and he's like, I'll do my best. He's like, that's why I gave it to you.
Yeah,
because I know you'll do your best.
And then the last shot of Steve and Peggy having that dance, which is what you wanted to see for so long.
Great.
And then they smooched it.
That's all you wanted. And it was amazing.
Honestly, I was going, what a fucking movie.
It really, the fact that they were able to close up all this stuff.
But it's the type of movie, though, that you have to have seen
all the movies.
Most of, if not all these movies prior.
Yes.
You won't appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, did you catch?
It's not a movie that can be played on its own.
It's not a standalone movie, and it's not, but it is probably like the best. But it's like it's so hard because I've never seen anything like this. It's the best comic book event, film, pop culture, global event, fucking moment ever in that aspect. But as a Cap, it is like a season finale to this TV show that just happens to be movies.
Right.
And it's amazingly satisfying.
It's this generation Star Wars on steroids.
Yes. And I know people are going to be sad that you won't get to see your OG characters, but I think they set it up well to move forward with these threads, with these new characters. It's just going to be, interesting to see if people are going with them.
Honestly, I'm at the point where I'm like, if this was over, if this is it.
This is it forever.
I'm almost like should be it.
Yeah.
Let's take a fucking break. I know we got Spider-Man coming up, but how can you enjoy Spider-Man in the same way that you can enjoy this?
I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp as a palate cleanser kind of made sense after Infinity War, but Feige has said Spider-Man Far From Home is actually the last movie of Phase 3. As much as this is a conclusion,
Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be a rough watch for
Far
me.
From Home is the last movie of this phase. Then they will take a break.
I'm feeling like it's out of place.
Yeah. I feel like that, like Spider-Man Far From Home.
Like, how's anything going to matter?
Just wait a year. Wait at least a year. Let's process this entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
Well, how?
It's like the Beatles quit touring, and all of a sudden Ringo goes out.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. Well, Paul did that right away with Wings. Once the Beatles broke up at 70.
Yeah, but that's Paul.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Just Ringo, which he went solo eventually. It's not good. But Paul's like, fuck it, I'm going out. I'm taking my wife. I taught her how to play piano. Let's go. We're called Wings. I love the.
How did you? Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want to talk about the cameo specifically. This may be the last Stan Lee cameo we're ever going to see.
It is.
I loved a bumper sticker that said "Nuff said."
Didn't it get a huge reaction in my theater?
It went by really quick
because it wasn't very obvious.
Yeah, he had a mustache on. It was really quick.
Twice, both times, barely anyone.
I think
reacted.
you miss it because so much shit is going on in this movie. You are going to miss it.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, just the fact that this movie has Loki, Tilda Swinton, Robert Redford, Renee Russo, Haley Atwell, Frank Grillo, Agent Sitwell, Corgan Meek. I love seeing Corgan Meek.
Hail Hydra. That was fucking fantastic.
That elevator scene was great because you.
Oh yeah, he walks out with it. So
He got smart. You figured he was going to beat him up like in Winter Soldier, and then he's like, "I'm gonna be smart. Just go Hail Hydra."
What about Cap versus Cap fight? Did you think that was necessary?
It's fun.
I enjoyed it.
It took me back. A lot of this movie took me back to Joss Whedon's original Avengers too. Like it had that kind of playful, fun vibe, but then it also got real fucking dark. Angela Bassett, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, everyone who's ever been in a fucking Marvel
There were
movie.
so many people that didn't have any lines.
Yes.
They were just on
They
screen.
were just standing there.
The whole time, especially during the second showing, I was going to myself, how much money did they spend on this to get everyone to show up?
How do you schedule all this shit?
How does this work?
Think about that fucking...
How does everyone just agree to do
that
this?
funeral scene, all the people that are on set right there to film that fucking
I
funeral
guarantee
scene.
you they're not really there.
No, they're not all there. It's all edited
Oh,
together.
you think it is? It's a little
100%.
compositing.
I read that when Infinity War was filmed, Doctor Strange filmed most, if not
that's
all,
right.
his scenes on his own.
That's right. And they had to stand
They had
in.
to yeah.
Because of...
But even, did you catch Michael Douglas in the 70s and the old Ant-Man?
Yes, they
helmet?
had DH Michael, and again, DH Michael Douglas in the old school. So here's some Easter eggs. You had the old school Ant-Man head. Called, like we said, callbacks to probably every movie in the MCU. The dads and daughters thing is great. Cassie Lang in the comics becomes Stature. You know, Clint calls her Hawkeye. Morgan Stark is Tony's male cousin and his enemy in the comics.
I know you're going to go over a lot of these, but a great one, a video to check out is on Screen Crush. I
watched that one, yes.
209 of them.
Yeah. I mean, everything is... The whole movie is an Easter egg.
The whole movie
Pretty
is
much.
a love letter to the Marvel Universe.
Pepper Potts as in her rescue armor. That's a fucking Easter egg. So there's just so many more Easter eggs. I'm not going to go over all of them.
Yeah,
those are the big ones.
You want to know what I thought was really interesting too? When they go back to get Tony, they don't show you Pepper. They don't show you until I'm like, and I thought it was really weird that they don't show you Pepper at all, not even sticking her head out or anything, until he's got to tell her about that he solved the time thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was so weird. It was so deliberate too.
They didn't have it. They only had her for like a day, probably.
Yeah.
The fact that they got all these people.
It's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, it's big corporate movie making, and it's but it's really unbelievable what they did these past 11 years, and to get
You can kind of see like the moving pieces that they had to kind of move around to get this to happen.
Mhm.
So I mean, it is an undertaking.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's never been done before.
Yeah, no, like you have to give credit where it's due. They've done something that's historic here.
Now, is this the most satisfying end to any kind of thing that you've seen?
Good question.
For me, yes.
I feel like it's super satisfying. It went beyond my expectations to
I mean, I've
close
had
this out.
satisfying endings in comic book storylines,
Yeah.
like reading comics.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything at this scale that's been this satisfying.
I feel like overall, like Cap gets his ending. Iron Man, he goes out a hero, and he has his child and his family. Spider-Man gets to live another day. Hulk, worked out his issues. Thor,
His story's kind of not over.
He's continuing on, but he's on the next phase of his life.
He's a guardian.
Yeah. And Scarlet's dead, and Hawkeye's going to go back to his family, which what he wanted to do from the first place.
Yep.
So all of these characters kind of got a good resolution. Like nobody really got shortchanged that much.
Great point.
The question is, what happens next?
And the characters that have movies continuing, are put in a place where they can continue on.
Yes, the threads they set for all of them were very good.
So we got the Eternals coming out, which is going to probably introduce some new characters. I don't know if they're going to stick, but Guardians of the Galaxy people like, so they could do it again. You got Captain Marvel. You have Spider-Man,
Far From
at least
Home.
one more movie.
Yep.
And who else
You got
do we
Black
have?
Panther, probably second movie. Doctor
Black
Strange will
Black
probably
Panther,
have
Doctor
a second
Strange,
movie.
the it's happening. The director signed on.
Oh,
for
Scott
second movie.
Derrickson and Ryan Coogler's coming back for Black Panther. Shang-Chi,
Correct.
they announced they're probably going to make that.
Shang-Chi, yep.
Guardians Volume 3, they're probably going to make that.
That's going to happen.
And then
that's the guarantees, we know for sure.
And then all the Disney shows, I believe, will interweave between the storylines of these movies as it goes on.
I got the Disney shows for me. I mean, I'm going to watch them.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a big part of the MCU canon.
I have a rough time though, like seeing how that's going to.
If it's 6 to 8 episodes,
it might be a little too much.
Throwing $100 million at it.
By the way, Imran, for the last time, they basically put a fucking dagger in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That shit has no connection to any of this.
You know what? Jarvis being in this was kind of huge. It is the first time a character from the TV show has appeared.
But that show
Avengers.
was produced by Kevin Feige.
Agent Carter was.
Yep.
That's
Agent
why.
Carter was the only one that was actually produced by the guys
I was
that run the
surprised
film.
to see Jarvis. I was like, oh, fuck it. That's actually Jarvis there.
But
imagine Daisy Johnson showed up to the battle.
Yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to put an olive branch out to the TV universe, they would have had the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show up and the Defenders
Because
show up. But they
S.H.I.E.L.D.
didn't.
is starting in May again, the sixth season.
Olsen's ass would have showed
No,
up.
I
if they
know.
really gave
None
a
of
fuck.
that. None of that in there.
Stop watching that shit, man. It doesn't connect. Or at least stop saying that.
I'm
you think
still
it
gonna
connects.
watch it.
It doesn't
to
connect.
see how they fucking deal with this, or if they do at all.
It's its own thing.
But look, that show's gotten better every season, so I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know
Last.
about that.
I feel it's
think
gotten
the
better.
last few are bad.
I think it's good. Do you do another Avengers movie, or do you wait for like a long time?
You gotta wait for a long fucking time,
right?
At least that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to be an A-Force movie?
An A-Force or New Avengers, or you could do Young Avengers. There's a bunch of different options, but we're not going to know anything probably until maybe San Diego. They'll tell us like, hey, we figured out what we're
I don't know where you go. I see some of your questions. What happened to Gamora?
Yes, that was a big question. Did she just take off?
She took off, so
Or
they're
did
searching
she get
for her.
snapped also?
No, they're in the especially the second showing.
Yeah,
when they're in the ship, it says searching and it has Gamora's picture.
But
so that's how they're going to deal with
Yes.
this. Is that they're going to have the actors still come back, but you're dealing with the 2014 version, which means Peter's love is going to have to
Which is crazy.
be redone.
She doesn't. She's never met them, and they got to go and start from scratch again with
But
her.
why wouldn't she die? She's part of Thanos'.
This is what I thought. If he snapped everyone that came from through the portals 2014, she would have been one of
That's
them.
what I initially thought too, but I guess maybe he snapped the people that had bad intentions,
Right. He would have to know that she's now turned.
or he just snaps the. He doesn't know that.
Oh, she has, because she does have good intentions. I see.
Yeah.
What you're
I
saying.
just like when Doctor Strange told Iron Man, he's like, can you tell me if this is the one? He's like, if I tell you, it won't come true. I'm like, what is it, like a birthday wish?
Yes. It's like all this better work.
That's a good point. That's funny.
So many great lines, so many funny moments.
So much. I'm racking my brain. There's so much we're not even covering.
In the middle of the battle where Cap has the Stormbreaker and Thor's like, no, give me that one. You get the little one.
You get the little
But
one.
right in the middle of a battle, great little fucking comedic moment. Then it goes right in. But again, the last.
Oh, here's one.
Yes.
Here's one. When Hulk has the gauntlet on.
Yeah.
And he's feeling the power.
Yeah.
And like about to break down, Cap goes, Thor goes, shut it off, take it off him. And Cap goes, are you okay? Do you want to continue?
Yeah.
And that is literally from the first Avenger when he's getting injected with the super
Yes,
serum.
he's
and
like,
they're
I could do it.
Stop. He's like, no, I can do it. It's the same exact fucking
Every
thing.
line is a fucking callback. It's amazing. Like you can go on and on with these lines that are fucking callbacks. I'm trying to think of another one. But the attention to detail, so amazing.
Fat Thor also had, as my friend Erwin pointed out, Fat Thor had a Robert Baratheon sort of vibe to him.
He did. Another great line, Rocket. You look like melted ice cream. That's fucking hilarious. Rocket is so great. I also love when he gives a speech and Rocket's like, man, this guy's really good at that. It's like, I know, right?
Hi, my name's Korg. This is the free Wi-Fi.
Oh, he's like, hey, jump
and they're
on.
talking shit to the fucking Fortnite
They're
people.
playing Fortnite, which I was like, boo, fucking
This is
Fortnite.
Thor.
It's Thor.
I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna shove something up
Thank
your
you,
ass.
Thor.
This is what I remember.
Thor, Noob Master's back on again. He's like, listen to me, Noob Master. He's like, hey, have some beer, get on the Wi-Fi. Korg, I was so happy to see Korg and Meek, dude. I really was hoping they were going to put them in there. And Valkyrie,
they gave you
Pegasus,
everyone.
everybody.
I can't believe they gave you everyone.
Everybody is in this movie. It's unbelievable. And again, another one where Wasp says, okay, Cap.
Right.
Where in the last movie she was making fun of Scott calling him Cap because he's such a little Captain America fanboy, but now she's like gets it. She was like all in. She's like, okay, Cap. His shield being destroyed by Thanos straight out of the comic books, like the same thing happened. And the standoff, just man, so much. I mean,
how did the shield get fixed?
He got another
went back
one.
in time and got the old one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember, old Cap came back with the shield.
Yeah, he created a new timeline when he went back.
I love
right.
the moment when Tony gives Cap the shield back. He goes, "He made it for you," and I was like, "Oh fuck, they're meeting. He's getting the shield back. Holy shit!" Oh, so great.
He's like, he doesn't want his kid to use it as a sled.
Yes. And then the shit, the whole thing with the shit and Morgan, where she's like, "Shit." It's like, no, you can't use that word.
Like, that's your mom's
Yeah,
word.
she coined it. He's like, I got a lot of shit I'm doing here.
I got a lot of shit I'm doing.
So good, Morgan Stark. So cute.
I know that Imran loves everything, so it's not to completely put down your opinion, but I'm curious, Ruggs, how much did you really enjoy this?
What do you mean?
Let's rate it. We'll find out.
Where would you? Yeah, okay, let's go with that.
Rate it, rank it, and now we'll find out how much you loved it. Ruggs,
I mean,
you can go first.
I don't know. I mean, if you watch Infinity War and this as one film, it's an amazing experience.
Absolutely. I can't wait to do that.
And it is an undertaking. So, like any other film that we could talk about, isn't trying to do what this movie is doing.
No other film has ever attempted to do what this movie is doing.
So as I said, like whenever there's a movie that's doing something that's like very original or interesting, I usually give it a break.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for example, like Justice League, putting all the heroes in a movie, that's been done before and been done better. So they have that benchmark to meet up to, right?
Yeah, great point.
So Avengers fucking killed that whole idea and did it way better and blah, blah, blah. So now this movie, the culmination, the ending, packing up all these characters and giving them all like satisfying endings. All of these moving parts it's an impossibility. It's a task. So I respect what they did. So I enjoyed this movie immensely. So is it my favorite Marvel movie of all time? No, but it's definitely, it may be one day. I'm not taking it out of like, putting it in an order where it's like can never get up there. I think that with further viewings and stuff like that, I think all these things kind of will still impress me. Like when we're just talking about it right now, I'm like, that's fucking impressive that they brought that line back. Or they were able to do this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that's an impressive thing. And it's not something that I needed somebody to tell me. Right. So let's say like when I watch like The Last Jedi, like some asshole will defend it and explain it to me like I didn't get it. Me, a guy who fucking, all he does is fucking critique movies.
Like, no, I get it.
When I go, this I get. This, it makes sense. Like, I don't need you to explain it. Like they were going for all of this stuff and they went for it. And, I'm going to say about 80% of it worked beautifully. And the 20% that didn't work, it just didn't quite, it just missed it by that much. It wasn't like a complete fall on your face. Like nobody liked that.
But did you like this?
Like there's no, why did you say that name?
Yeah.
Everybody was just like, that did not work, motherfucker. That did not fucking work. Like the one thing, like I said, the biggest kind of like where you're obviously getting like was the A-Force thing where they like contrived it up so that shot would happen.
Forced.
That's the only one where you can really say that was forced.
Was A-Force referencing the women power?
Team? Yes.
Yeah. Like the conveniently happening, the scene. I love the scene, but I think they could have gotten there better, but whatever. So it is a good movie. I would highly recommend it. I enjoyed it. I saw it twice, and I'd probably see it a third time.
Did you like it better or not as much as Infinity War?
Oh, man.
That's a really hard question because it's hard to compare these.
I mean, I watched Infinity War this morning. Yeah. Not all of it. I watched like the last 40 minutes of it. And, there were some, I think that what's better in Infinity War is the absolute terror of everything.
Well, it's a riskier movie because of the fact it's the part one setup of this whole thing.
Dude, when Thanos appears and they're all trying to stop him,
and nothing happens, and
it's just completely futile, and then she kills the Vision and he brings him back to life and kills him in front of her and then Cap is just everybody's turning into ash, and Cap is just looking around at the despair. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, this is fucking. If we didn't know what was going to happen, and like that they were all going to come back, that would have been. But the way it was shot, dude, they took it for. So they're both done very well.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it. I mean,
give me a number out of 10
on a scale 1 to 10. I'm gonna probably give this a 9.
And okay, so I won't have you put it where in your ranking of the MCU. Can you do that now? Is that?
I think it's too soon.
I think it's
I
too
don't know.
soon.
I mean, it's definitely. I'm gonna say tied with Infinity War.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say
that's a good point.
All right,
good.
Anthony, rate it, rank it. Did you like it better than Infinity War?
I mean, so this movie is still a day or two old in my mind.
Yeah,
it is designed to make you feel things, to make you run the gamut of emotion.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is designed to, if they can nail all that stuff, it's going to make you like it that much more.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie is just, I mean, it for me, if it can make me laugh and cry and feel angry and think about all these moments in the past, it is a gigantic success. I really enjoyed this film. I really admire the undertaking that it had to do and what they went and did with it. I think it's just been amazing. Like, this whole ride has been amazing. Is it better than Infinity War? And so I remember when we first reviewed Infinity War, I wasn't as high on it. And the more I think about Infinity War, the more I really respect that movie and how good it really is.
Yeah.
So Infinity War in my mind has jumped from being just a pretty good, solid movie to, wow, this is one of the best Marvel movies they've ever made. And with Endgame, I'm at the point where I'm already there.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And maybe when in a year, I'll think, or a couple months, I'll think about it and I'll push it down a little bit. But purely based on just the way I felt and the emotions I felt during that entire movie and all these little moments that we talked about in this review, I mean, for me, it's a 9.5.
Yeah.
Like, it's it's somewhere, it hit all the marks that as a hardcore MCU fan and a pretty solid comic book fan, and it hit everything that you could ever ask for. So I'd go 9.5 like Ruggs on this movie. And I mean, we'll see what the future holds, but I definitely would say this and Infinity War is an amazing 1-2 punch, and this, in addition to watching all the other films, is amazing. It's a great cap to this entire run,
which is really
I can't believe what they've done with it.
It's hard to rate this on its own as a movie because it's so much more.
Yeah, I don't even understand some of the debate between Infinity War and this because they're made by the same fucking people.
Yeah.
It was intended to be a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Like, this is basically one gigantic film.
It's one awesome 6-hour fucking Avengers movie that I cannot wait to sit down and watch. If they came out, they should show both of these in the theater. Just have them both of them running back to back would be fucking amazing. Is it too soon to rank it in number of MCU movies for you?
I mean, I'm going to right now say it's probably in my top 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember what I put my top 5 as.
I don't, yeah.
So, but I mean, just the amount of work and the accomplishment of, and the love of characters and callbacks and musical callbacks and lines. I mean, there's just so much in it that I just respect the amount of effort, like the amount of care and detail that went into it. So, I mean, for all that to happen, I have to put it in a top 5 Marvel film.
I'm at the same place. I'm leaning 9.5. I've never seen anything like this before. As far as, did I like it better or said Infinity War? All the reasons you just said, the care, the callbacks, the closure, the rewarding the loyal fans. I liked it just as much, but right now I thought this movie was amazing. The whole journey together, the whole journey of the MCU. Another great Easter egg. The very first line is Clint going, "Can you see where you're going? It's all about how we get there," which is like a meta reference to the MCU itself from Iron Man, where they had no idea where they were going.
They knew that they wanted to beat the Avengers. They had no idea.
They had no idea how to get there. So for that, right now, it is definitely top 5 for me. But here's the thing: I was just watching on FX. They're playing Winter Soldier,
Yep.
And on the one hand, that movie is the most realistic, grittiest, badass, the fucking action. I forgot how good it is. Unbelievable. And then on the other end of the spectrum, the same people have given me the most perfect superhero comic book movie you could ever make right now. So it's hard to even compare those, you know?
It's hard to compare. Winter Soldier is probably a better film.
Right.
But Winter Soldier is a pretty good, for the most part, self-contained film.
Yeah.
This is a movie that you can really only appreciate having seen everything else.
Yeah. It is unique in a class by itself.
It is absolutely a class of its own. Yes.
It is a movie that should not work. And it does.
They have invented their own genre and made it successful and nailed it.
Think back to 2012 when Avengers was going to come out and how much people were going, how the hell are they going to make a movie with
only
six
of them.
superhero movies and two
There's only
superhero
six
characters?
of the fuckers.
And now you get to Endgame where you have a final battle where did they have 40, 50 actors out
Probably
there? Actors and
everybody.
actresses?
Yes, everybody.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. And they pulled it off.
You can only do that by introducing all these characters, just like you do it in a comic book.
Right.
You know the universe. You know these individual movies, and you don't really need to give them a lot of lines of screen time. They just need to be there and have a moment, then you'll feel like that person. Okay, when this shit went down, he was there.
Right.
She was there.
It
So
resonates.
That's all you really need to do.
I mean, huge thanks and props to Kevin Feige and the MCU and the Russo brothers for pulling off this unbelievable dream, this fucking geek dream of everyone.
And what makes it so amazing is that you look at other studios that have tried to do this,
they've
and
come
they've
and gone.
failed miserably.
Nobody has been able to reproduce.
No one's gotten close. The closest, honestly, the closest thing right now, currently, is the fucking MonsterVerse with Godzilla and King Kong. That's legitimately the closest thing. Justice League was
DC's
terrible.
that's failed.
Universal Monsters was terrible. Spider-Man's thing was terrible. X-Men is fucking falling apart. The only legit thing that can even resemble this is the Godzilla MonsterVerse.
If it makes money.
If it makes money and it's successful.
Godzilla and King Kong were both successful.
Yeah.
We'll see how the King of the Monsters ends up. But
I'm hoping people see it.
Yeah.
But this is gonna. This is so great. We're in this time where everything's wrapping up. Star Wars wrapping up. Avengers is wrapping up. All of these things are coming.
They're coming to an end, but there will be more also.
Yeah. So it's it kind of feels good to know that there's a new beginning coming. And right now we're in the crux.
We're in the transition.
Of the Godzilla universe too.
Yeah.
So that's a roll of the dice. Down the road, if that's going to be something, that could also become something if people go. So it's interesting. This is going to play out crazily. I feel bad for Hellboy.
Just forget about that.
But
great time to be alive if you're a fucking
if you're
genre
a comic book
geek.
fan, genre geek.
Good stuff.
This might be the pinnacle.
I don't know if we'll ever see anything of this at this global international. I really felt like I was watching this movie with the whole world.
Well, the whole world is watching.
You forgot about the Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
that's the only other.
I did forget about that, and I'll give that credit too. That's doing really well,
dude. Apparently, Keanu is going to be in Hobbs and Shaw. What the fuck?
Oh shit!
Oh yeah,
possibly.
Wow, really?
I'm kind of excited to see that movie. It looks like a lot of fun. One last thing before we get to news from the nation. If you waited to the very end of the movie, no post-credit scene, which is kind of what I wanted. I was glad. Let it rest. But Anthony, did you catch the little audio tribute?
Yep. Iron Man.
You hear a clanging of metal, similar. A lot of people have speculated a lot of different things. Is this somebody making a new Mjolnir? Is this, but what it reminded me of was Iron Man working on his suit in the cave. It's the same sound.
It's the audio from him in the
from
cave.
Iron Man, which I thought it was a nice, subtle little tribute.
I did catch a Jock and Nerd Nation post maybe a month or two prior to this movie coming out where someone posted some sort of spoilers, and I did look at that for a brief second.
Yeah.
I'm glad to note that those were wrong.
All of them were wrong? Everything was wrong?
They put in a post-credit scene where you at the end there's an alley and you hear these blades come out of someone's
Snicket?
hand.
You hear Snicket? Nah, that'd have been too much too soon.
Yeah, I agree with the no post credit for this one. It's not about what's coming
It's
after.
not. This is it.
This 22 year or 22 film run.
And I don't think we're going to see the X-Men maybe 4 or 5 years.
At least don't bring the X-Men in.
It's going to be a while. All right, news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. I don't know about you, but I feel 10 pounds lighter. I don't know why. Here's where I got some comments and voice messages from our listeners, starting with a tweet from listener Bob Brasky, at Bob Brasky, which I know that SNL skit where that name comes from.
Oh, that's where it's from. Like, that sounds like a character.
Bob Brasky. Also, his avatar is a picture of Mr. Rogers, so I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he says, at Jock and Nerdcast, when's the next Jock and Nerd roast? The nerd talks too much, the jock is not a jock, and the felty thinks he's a philosopher. I enjoy each week. Keep it up. Jock and Nerd, thank you very much.
If a tree falls and no one's there to hear it, you can shove it up your ass.
Yes, you can. Wise words from the felty. Thank you, Bob Brasky. Moving on, I got a note from Austin Clements, recent Patreon supporter, new $10 a month supporter last week. I think he joined last week. He says, hey there, Jock and Nerd. You too, Rug Boy. I'm not too savvy with Patreon just yet, so I figured I'd give this a try. If you decide to share some of this, what's up, nation? Thank you for the shout out this past weekend. I've been listening to you all since I think episode 206. Jock and Nerd. I've been catching up on prior episodes and can't wait to start combing through the Patreon feed. With that being said, I came up with a short list of movies for your consideration in case you reviewed it previously. Number 1 would be Starship Troopers. Childhood favorite.
Get it.
And just seems to get better with age. Maybe you feel the same way. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Let me break in here. Austin, now that you are subscribed to the Patreon, you will find our Patreon exclusive review of Starship Troopers. Done. Already done. Number 2 would have to be Zombieland. I rewatched this the other night and forgot about how much I love the subtle humor the cast provides. Somehow I feel Abigail Breslin would drive Rug Boy crazy, but hopefully I'm wrong. That's the movie Woody Harrelson's and what's his name? Jesse Zuckerberg?
Eisenberg?
Yeah. Eisenberg, yes.
Jesse Zuckerberg.
Jesse Zuckerberg, Luthor. On the ridiculously low chance both of these movies have been reviewed, I have one last offering. The movie doesn't need much explanation. Feel free to choose this before the others if you like. Simply stated, Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Oh, shit.
You are all awesome and provide much laughter, nerdy information for me to regurgitate at the office and a strong sense of camaraderie amongst the nation. Thank you all for all that you do. Thank you, Austin, for listening.
Austin, you're awesome.
Which
support. Movie are we going to review for him?
Well, I believe it would be, I don't know.
Zombieland or
we can just say that we did Starship Troopers and be done with it.
Sorry, no, we'll do
you're good.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I don't know. That one sounds fun. We'll pick one, Austin. Don't
we'll do
worry.
one of those.
And finally, I have a audio message from Jimmy the Geek checking in.
Hey, what's going on, Imran, Anthony, and Rug Boy? This is Jimmy the Geek. Hey, so I hadn't sent a message in a while. Imran actually helped me out the other day. I was having an issue with the Patreon, and he was kind enough to give me some of his time and help me out. So I thought to myself, I haven't messaged you guys in quite some time. Main reason I was going to send a message is because I remember when I first started listening, it's been, almost about 2.5 years since I've joined the fan club and been part of the show and all that good stuff. But I remember one of the first things I asked Imran was if you guys could do a review of Gotham. And since then, obviously, we know that show's kind of gone off a cliff. Well, actually, it kind of has been off the cliff the entire time. But anyway, Imran, I remember, did a review like the next week. So it was one of those cool things where I asked for something for the show, and you guys did it right away. So anyway, I was thinking that since the show is coming to an end and the series finale is coming up, it might be kind of cool for old time's sake for you to just do a quick review of the series finale. Thought it might be kind of fun. I know only Imran and I are still watching out of everybody in this group, but, it might be kind of fun to kind of watch the last episode and kind of give your final thoughts. I know you guys used to do reviews of the show when you first started the podcast. So anyway, just my little suggestion. I know you guys have the Avengers Endgame stuff going and all that. So, maybe in a couple weeks or something. But anyway, hope things are good. And thanks for all you do. Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd.
Well, Jimmy, yeah, so nice.
I know. I love hearing from Jimmy.
So sweet about it.
He's a nice dude.
this is what I'll tell you. I was curious to check out the last episode, so I'll watch it. And if anybody else wants to watch it, I'll.
Rugs, let's do this because this is funny. This is another thing that's ended this week. The final episode, season 5 of Gotham, just aired this past Thursday.
Please don't put it in the same category as these other two things.
I'm just saying it's a thing that's ending. That's all I'm saying. And I watched it. Rugs, watch the last 2 episodes. You have to.
All right.
Because there's a time jump between them. They do some fucked up shit. You see Batman from behind and the shadows.
Don't spoil it then. Why tell him to watch it and then tell
Do I fuck Batman from behind?
You fuck Batman from behind. It's in the commercials.
Or don't tell him to. Don't spoil it.
You
Let him
don't
watch
see
it.
anybody.
Stop. Please stop talking.
We'll
Just let him watch
Why
it.
am I going to watch it?
Watch the last
ruined
2
it for me.
episodes, and then we'll review that for Jimmy the Geek. We'll put
All
it
right,
on
I'll
Patreon.
watch it. Sure.
Just for Jimmy. But yeah, that horrible show is over.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I quit a long time ago, so my watching the last episode would not mean anything.
You should, I mean, honestly, you could kind of still watch the last 2 episodes if you haven't been watching. It's batshit crazy that you would fucking catch up on it. It's whatever.
Jimmy, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, he's not.
Sorry.
No, he's not gonna do it. But Jimmy, for you, I love Jimmy the Geek. Rugs and I will do a Patreon.
He will eventually be on my spinoff show too. I've already talked
Oh wow, awesome! I love when this comes together. Last thing in the show before we wrap up, fellas, I have a link in this show, and I want to get your honest reaction to a photo of a late birthday gift for the nerd, yours truly, from our Santa Claus on behalf of the Jock and Nerd Nation. Don't click it
clicking it
yet.
now?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna Rugs, you ready? You see it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna count to 3, click it, and then I just want you to react and describe to the listener what the photo is. Okay? 3, 2, 1, click it.
What is this, and how inaccurate is this?
What? Who did this?
Well, what is it? Tell the listener what you're
okay,
looking at.
It is Imran's head on a fat Spider-Man body.
Oh, shit.
Bobblehead style.
Geek boner.
I'm a bobblehead, people. Holy shit.
Imran Javed, hero.
That's what it says on the bottom, and it's me maskless as it's sitting right here. I'm bobbling
Who did
the
that
head.
for you?
Santa Claus on behalf of the Jock and Nerd Nation. I feel like maybe all the group people came together and listener, I have in front of me a customized bobblehead of myself. And
first off,
it's very flattering.
You are giving way too much
Yes.
credit to the amount of pigment in this man's hair.
Yeah, it's very, and amount of hair, like my thinning too. I can touch in some white to make it more accurate. It's got brown hair. Maybe it should be black, but I think it looks like me. It's a pretty
does
good
look like you.
Yeah, it's a good likeness.
It looks kind of like him, Ron.
I thank you for being complimentary on the body because that body is way better than my body right now.
Is it not tubby? I thought I saw a little belly. No.
Yeah, no, it's not that tubby. Listener, I will post this picture in the show notes. It'll be on social media. Thank you guys, everyone involved, for getting me this custom bobblehead of me as Spider-Man. It's the most amazing. Can I just say we have the most amazing listeners, Anthony. When we started this, much like the journey the MCU has taken, we've gone through twists and turns, and I never thought that I'd be sitting here with people who made a fucking bobblehead of me. This is amazing as Spider-Man.
I was talking to Jason Dutch, who's host of The Voice from the Underground.
Yes, he does.
And he complimented the listeners, and I have to agree. Like, he says we have a hardcore, like almost symbiotic relationship with our listeners.
They're amazing.
They interact with us, and we appreciate them, and we interact with them, and we've created an awesome community. So it's been amazing.
The fact that I know so many people's names, and I feel like I know you guys personally. I love all you guys so much for everything you do, helping us out, all the doing. Like this is better than anything. This community is unbelievable. Ruggs, what do you think?
Listen, sometimes you're sitting in a basement and you think you're just yelling into the void and no one cares. And the truth is like you'd like to think that there's millions of people listening to you and they're all like enthralled, but the thing is there are people that are listening and they are enthralled and they're involved and they're putting stuff in and they're submitting things and they're becoming part of our story. Like our listeners are part of the show.
Hey, the listeners have definitely enriched my life. I've learned many things, and I'd much rather have small, loyal than a million people listening and nobody writes in and you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Go ahead.
When we do a thing like we send something out, but usually people respond and they come to the rally. They rally to the cause and we may not hit every single goal that we have, but I mean, we know that they're there. We hear you. We know you.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things too, where, our listenership is so involved that it's helped me create, another show.
Yeah.
And I've interviewed a lot of our listeners.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's amazing.
We're all fam.
We're all fam, I guess. It's just, I can't think of a ton of other, like I listen to a good amount of podcasts, and I can't think of a lot of them that have the amount of listener interaction and the amount of back and forth conversation that we have.
This is a two-way show. You're never going to hear Joe Rogan fucking shout out a guy who wrote in. This is never going to happen. You could literally tell me what to do on the show, and I'll fucking do it. Fucking nerd.
For better or worse.
Yes,
this is
for better or worse.
Is our shared universe.
It is. We've created our own MCU with you, with the listener.
We have our own inside jokes. We have our own things.
This is our own Howard
everything.
Stern Whack Pack. It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And I love all you guys. It means so much. I don't have we got Mike Rips. I was going to say I don't have the words, but that's the words. Mike Rips' joy is how I feel having you guys listen. Ruggs, where can they find you online?
You can find me online at Really Rug Boy on Twitter, so come by and say hello.
Come by and say hello. Visit our website, jockandnerd.com/270 for show notes to this episode, everything we talked about, our Amazon affiliate links, another way you can help us out. Subscribe for free wherever you listen. Like we said, we are now on Pandora.
Oh, shit.
So if you like Pandora, you hang out in there. You don't got to go to another app to listen. Just add us to your collection. We will be there.
Just do it anyway.
You know what?
It'd be good for us, for Pandora to see that we have all these people signing up. So
we need to show Pandora we got followers. Start clicking, start adding it. Follow us on Instagram at Jock and Nerd, Twitter at Jock and Nerdcast. And if you like the show, if you made you laugh, tell a friend. Spread the geekery, right, Anthony?
That's right.
And that's it.
Damn right. No, I wasn't texting. I'm listening.
Are you texting? No. Good. No. Well, it's fine because we're done. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Good earth, motherfuckers.
Earth.
Balls
was hot.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yes. I see that you know your judo well.